Hey, everybody, you are listening to the Total Buckets podcast. I am your host, Felipe and and with me is my host for the evening, or my co-host for the evening, James Pinos. James, how you doing this evening?
Very well. Sitting our spreadsheets. We're ready to rock.
It's ready to roll. Speaking of spreadsheets, might as well get this going. Let's see, I need to look for this screen right here. And there it is, the first spreadsheet of the evening. So, so what do you think in all its glory?
Oh, we got the glorious color coding, I see.
Oh, it has to be. Well, the team logos, man. I got it to work this time. Not, I think we did the football one together,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and
It didn't work that day.
it didn't work that day, no. But I figured it out for right now, and make sure I saved it under the right format. And there it is. There's Alex's team right there with his two keepers, Anthony Davis and De'Aaron Fox, and I use the Lakers colors because he's a Lakers fan. So pretty smart, huh?
Uh-huh.
These are the Chicago Bulls colors by Senior Spreadsheets here. My keepers, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Kate Cunningham, and then there's you. It just kind of worked out that way that you and I are together, but it's in alphabetical order, as you can see. Los Banqueros, the Knicks fan. I try to do the Knicks colors, but in reverse, because here's Jacob's team. Try my best. I try my best to color coordinate based on your favorite teams. But so I'm not gonna name every player on this keeper list, but I gotta ask you if you had a choice to start over again, because I guess we can safe to say that this is a pretty dynamic question every season. But who would you start your make believe franchise today? Who would you build around with today?
Oh, I mean, if we're doing it, you have to take the Joker, no?
Yeah, and
Incoming
if
message. I
and
mean,
if
I
I
mean, no
sort
matter what you
this
say, his numbers are just ridiculous.
by projected points, yeah, he's
Yeah,
the only player who's going to average 60 points per
60.
game. And these are, as you may or may not know, well, when I look at projections, I tend to think that they're a little conservative, right? Because they always kind of lean towards conservative figures,
Hmm.
right? Not too high, not too low, but maybe not too much in the middle either. You don't want to be too bland, but nothing too outrageous. The fact that Joker's still gonna have average 60 fantasy points a game is just ridiculous in this league.
Yeah, I mean, it just fills every. There's not a lot of players that do that, and so it makes it, even if he has an off scoring, he's still going to get rebounds, he's going to get assists, he gets blocks. He doesn't have an off night where some guys can have an off shooting night, and then if that's their only value, that's you're not getting much.
Yeah, the only off night I know of is Davian Mitchell. Is that his name?
Who?
The former Kings guard. He's such a defensive menace that his nickname is Off Night. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. You ask who. Anyway, as you can see, I think I'm the only team with two, not one, but two top 10 guys projected to finish in terms of projected points per game, fantasy points per game, I should say. I'm trying to see if anybody else, but no, not really. The closest might be Primo, where he has the number 12 guy in James Harden and the number 5 guy in Victor Wembanyama. But last I checked, 4 and 9 beats 5 and 12 each and every time. So, and then to get because you're here, you're projected, and these are not my projections; these are CBS projections based on our scoring league, our scoring format. Uh, you got Domantas Sabonis as your keeper coming into this draft. He's gonna finish 13th, and then Paulo Banchero, the namesake of your team, is going to finish in 20th. Obviously, you think those two players. I think Sabonis can get over 45, and Banchero 40 is about right. Is that the way you see it too, or you think these projections are wrong and they might be much better than what they're showing here? What do you think about your keeper
Sabonis has usually given
projections?
me, high 40s. It seems like when he's again and Paulo was off to almost averaging like 50 at the beginning of last year, and then he got hurt, and then it was all
Yeah,
kind of, he never quite made it back,
yeah.
to completely healthy. It seemed like the whole rest of the year, once he got back. So that'll be interesting. Like his numbers have improved every year. And since we're doing keepers, he was the building block last year.
Yeah. And then I just gotta point out that the player you don't want to build your franchise around or even have as a second as a sidekick is CJ McCollum. I
I
couldn't
was
believe
trying to figure out I didn't get a chance to look at her roster from last year that she ended up keeping CJ.
and then Pascal. I mean, we know why she's keeping Pascal Siakam. She's a Canadian fan, right? A Raptors fan. She's in Canada. Pascal was on the Raptors a few years ago. CJ, I think she was on her team. Well, obviously on her team last year, but she's had him before, and she's a loyal gal, man. She's loyal to a fault. She's a little too loyal. There's not even I don't think there's a Canadian connection here, but it's just the fact that CJ, played on was on our team for many years and she's gonna run to that well again. But
Mhm.
now the dude's with the Wizards, right? I think last I checked, he's with the Washington Wizards,
Yeah.
and you could say, well, if he gets traded, he might he might
Well,
start
see, when
producing
he
again,
see to me
right?
on the Wizards, he might get a lot of volume,
Yeah, but just to we know what it is,
but
man.
the Wizards are going to trade him at some point, and then does your
They-
volume collapse at some point?
because yeah, he's not going to get traded to a team that wants to build around him and give him
Right,
all the touches and usage so he can get to because in his heyday in this league he was averaging close to 35 points per game,
right.
which is still on the low side as you could see there, but still better than the 27 points that is going to be projected for him this season, even with him being a
Yeah, I mean, I think the 27 while he's on the Wizards is kind of low.
Well,
But,
I don't think the Wizards care too much for him. I think he's just there for salary cap
right, but I
purposes or
just think they're
whatever.
going to showcase him so they can trade him.
They're gonna showcase him, but they're also
I
gonna.
think early in the year they're going to play their vets until they can push him out the door. So they're gonna give him volume and showcase him.
I think they're gonna showcase him, but there's gonna be a lot of resting time, a lot of limited minutes. Make sure that these guys are fresh for some of those big showcase games where they know that McCollum's gonna score like 25 points
Hmm.
and get 10 assists, and then teams are gonna be, oh man, we better get CJ now. But even when CJ gets traded, it's gonna be to a good team who's gonna
Right.
want him to come off the bench or yeah, come off the bench or just stand in the corner and wait for the point guard to give you the ball. Like if he goes to the Clippers, for example, just wait for James Harden to maybe pass you the ball. But you bet you just got to be ready. Just stand in the corner over there on the corner over there. Just over there. Just go. And that's good. So yeah, and then his role is really gonna get relegated. But the other thing, I mean, she won the baseball championship, so she's on cloud nine right now, man. She's flying high again. So what does she care about basketball, right? In terms of like
She's taking a knee.
she's taking one of Kawhi Leonard's bad knees and stuff. But yeah, ah whatever. It's head scratcher. She'll be competitive as always, but yeah, it's just I always question her, and it feels like I'm picking on her. No, I'm just questioning you. There's a difference, and but she's not the only one I question, right? And we're gonna get to it right now. Let's get underway in the draft. There it is. I chose green this year because EJ is the Mavericks fan, and he gets to choose first. And right off the bat, Cooper Flag. He told me, Felipe, make sure you pick Cooper Flag for me, okay? Like, all right, there it is, Cooper Flag, number one. He had issues logging into his account, so I had to make the pick for him. But that's what he wanted. And Cooper Flag should have all the touches he can handle in Dallas. They're saying that he might be the point guard or the point forward, whatever you want to call him. He's going to be it. There's a lot of veterans who get injured rather easily in Dallas, so I don't know. He's projected to score 33.4 points. That's about right for a rookie of his stature. Do you see him maybe getting to that 50-point threshold this season, or is that more of a second year thing for him? What's your outlook on Cooper Flag in terms of this league's fantasy outlook? Go ahead.
I mean, talent wise, I think, he's a talent. Shooting wise, I think he's got a lot to work on at that point. He's a great passer. Seems like he can, he might be able to defend and rebound. I just don't know what the upside is shooting wise. He gets to the basket. Like you said, he's going to get a lot of touches. Kyrie is out, you know, still trying to find the end of the earth.
No, bro, that's the beauty about it, though. He's gonna. It's gonna be like Paulo Banchero early, like last year. Like, oh, okay, it looks like Banchero's turning the corner. And who is Cooper Flag going to be fighting usage with? D'Angelo Russell. I mean, come on,
Hmm.
man. No, D'Angelo Russell's job this year is just yeah, over there, the guy, the big white guy from Duke. Just throw him the ball, bring the ball up the court, and then dish it off to him. Just let him cook. He's a franchise.
So it's basically Cooper and why am I forgetting his name? The unibrow.
Oh, and Anthony Davis, and he's gonna get hurt.
Right.
And Derek Lively as the other big man, and he's
So
not. It's
again,
Cooper.
see, with Lively, that clogs up the middle when he's in there for him.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
Lively's a
he's gonna
non.
catch some lobs.
He's a non-factor on offense, man. The Lively, I'm not. No, no, no. He's a non.
Lively is a Tyson Chandler type of dude.
Yeah, exactly. Tyson Chandler, just get out of the way, Tyson, and just grab the offensive rebounds when the balls hit the rim.
Cooper's the kind of guy who you need to surround with shooters.
Klay
Uh,
Thompson,
you
PJ
know,
PJ Washington off the bench.
Washington would fit good with him.
Yeah. So yeah, it seems like this could be the only thing that's holding him back is lack of experience and polish, and we don't know if his game can translate to the NBA, but it better because the Mavericks, they gave up Luka Doncic for this opportunity, right? So
Yeah, they gave up Luka Doncic, and then they did. Adam Silver did the David Stern and moved the ping pong balls, and no conspiracy theory. The frozen envelope.
yeah, right. So that's Cooper Flag. The next guy is Bam Adebayo, and I just started. It's funny because I started noticing like, hey man. Jacob with the second pick, he's picking one of my former players, but not it wasn't just him who picked my former player from last year. Remember, my team was loaded last year. I only had one loss last season. Other
Mhm.
players that were picked in the first round. So there's Bam Adebayo in the second pick. The third pick was Evan Mobley. That one hurt a lot, but I was expecting it. Carl Anthony Towns with the sixth pick. So that's three players already in the top six. So you can see why I won last year's championship. And that's it. So three first round picks, virtual third round,
What
and
did you
those
think
three.
about Mobley
I love Mobley, man. I was hoping he would fall to me, but I knew it was gonna stretch.
at that third spot though?
I had the way I had it. I wasn't expecting Cooper Flag to get picked number one either. So, but
No,
the way I saw it was, you have to consider LeBron James, even at his old age. He has to be. No, I had Jalen Brown number one. Sorry, Jalen Brown was number one.
I was
Josh,
shocked. I got him.
yeah, yeah. That was a really good pick on your end, and Joel Embiid going to Aaron. I'm starting to think that she's purposely trying to tank at this point. This- You'll see why. I mean, this is not the only risky pick that she made, but we'll get to it. But so Joel Embiid goes number four. But okay, Jalen Brown was my number one guy if I when I was doing the re-rankings, right? So Jalen Brown, I had Josh Giddey, LeBron James, and yeah, and
You were
then
really high on Gideon this year.
yeah, man, dude, the guy once Levine and DeRozan left, I mean, Bob almost beat me in the championship game because of Giddey. Giddey was
Yeah.
putting up some monster statistics.
I just
That's a
keep
good.
thinking he's gonna get arrested at some point.
Well, no comment.
Uh-huh.
Carl Anthony Towns is a good pick, top five pick here. Even Julius Randle, I was liking a lot. Zion Williamson, you still got to consider him. I was actually surprised that he fell to the 12th spot with me, and I was happy as
Honestly, I
hell.
thought I was gonna get Towns here,
Yeah.
but I couldn't. I was like I said, I was amazed I got Brown.
No, Jalen Brown was I
I
think
could have
he's
done
the guy to.
the Homer thing, Felipe. I resisted.
No, it's that I think Tyler, the new guy, I think he's a 76ers fan. He's the one with the Carl Anthony Towns.
Uh-huh.
And then Tim, the new guy, I know he's from Kansas City, but I don't know what NBA team he roots for, so I just gave him the Kansas City Royals colors. But the computer picked LeBron James for him, it looks like. I like the Julius Randle pick too. Like at first I didn't like it, but the more I thought about it, like the more I realized, you know what? Julius Randle qualifies at center. I'm okay with that.
He
Uh,
does.
Jalen Johnson, number nine, going to Primo's team. Anthony Simons. I thought I was gonna get Anthony Simons instead of Zion Williamson. I thought Zion wouldn't last this long, and maybe I would just get settle for Anthony Simons, and I'd be okay. And then I had the 13th pick overall, so I'm looking good here. And I was really, and then as soon as I saw that Josh Giddey fell to like close to the double digits here, I thought I had a good chance to get him, and I was getting really excited. But then, of course, Bob got him because Bob had him last year. So interesting. Not the way I thought this first round would go. What was the biggest shocker in this first round for you?
Well, the Cooper thing, I didn't think he was going to go that early. You know,
Got a Mavericks
uh,
fan there though.
I still I didn't think EJ was going to do the Homer thing. Honestly.
Well, I mean, I mean, you've known EJ for what a few years now, playing with him. He's a fellow Dallas Cowboy fan with you. I mean, what were you expecting EJ to do? Would you think he would have you thought he was just going to pick LeBron James at number one and go chalk here? Because LeBron James is the number one rated player coming into this draft. But is that what you thought was going to happen, or what were you thinking the number one pick was going to be?
I figured he was going to go either Bam. I know he wouldn't go Embiid because we've discussed his injury proneness, or he might even take Jalen.
Oh, Jalen Johnson. Yeah, I remember that he talked glowingly about Jalen last year, but so did everybody else, like Primo, Jacob. They all like Jalen Johnson.
Mm.
I was shocked to see Julius Randle go to Angels team for some reason. I don't know why. It didn't, or maybe he had him last year. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember who.
I figured that that's maybe he would have gotten Jalen Johnson, Angel, but no, he went with Julius Randle as well. So there it is. But yeah, I when I got Zion Williamson, I'm like, okay, well, I'm happy. It sounds like he's lost half of his weight and his contract. I saw the contract situation, and a lot of it is incentivized if he keeps his weight down. His teammates are applauding and heralding his leadership qualities. And you can't bypass a Zion Williamson this late in the first round, even in the keeper league, the virtual third round. You can't let him go too far, right? Like that's the thing to do, right? Right, James?
I mean, yeah, I definitely would have taken him in that area there. I
Damn
mean,
right you would.
like
Damn
again,
right.
he looks great. If he actually is able to stay healthy, we could actually get some Zion. It'll be interesting to, like I said, that'll be interesting to see because a lot of people just blame his weight for the issues, but it might,
Well,
it might not just be that.
I mean, it's hard to tell with him, right? I mean, but it's just not. He's not looked the part of a franchise player in New Orleans this whole time, and there's always something wrong, right? There's always something off about it. And I'll be
Mhm.
honest. I when it got to be closer to my turn, I turned to my wife. I go, who should I pick with my next two picks? I gave her a list of four players: Zion, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Scotty Barnes. And I broke it down. Scotty Barnes is a facilitator, young guy, but he's injury riddled and can't shoot the ball, but assists are worth 2 points, so that's what's intriguing about him. Kevin Durant, one of my favorite players of all time, but he's too old, and I mean he can still score, but he's gonna miss a lot of time. It is a fantasy points per average league and not a cumulative league. But still, I mean, Durant could miss a whole week and then give me 0 points, and that's a little too risky. He does qualify at center though. And then Zion, he likes to eat, he likes to bang adult film stars, and he has like 10 children out there probably. I don't know, I lost count already. And that's the problem. But when he's healthy and has his head on straight, oh my God, he is one of the most explosive players I've ever seen in my life. And then Steph Curry is Steph Curry. And she immediately goes, why don't you just pick Steph Curry? Like, you're making it too complicated. And you know what, James? First of all, I thought she was wrong when she said that. How dare she? But maybe I do overthink something. So I just went with Steph Curry, even though he's also old like Kevin Durant. But I feel like he's going to still be relevant and integral with the Golden State Warriors. He's the primary scoring option. He's the point guard. He racks up the assists. He's a good ball handler, good facilitator. So I'm happy with that. So I'm happy with my back-to-back picks there. Vucevic. I don't know what to make of Vucevic. Right? He like and that's back-to-back Bulls players by Bob, who's a Pacers fan. But I think he had him last year too. So Bob getting a little what do you call it, attached to some of these Bulls players, but there's always something off about Vucevic. Like he can score, he can grab rebounds, and then there's something lacking with him, right? Right? There's always something lacking with him. But I don't know any other eye-opening selections here in the second round for you there, James, that you see there?
No, I mean Vucevic is fantasy wise, he's pretty consistent. I
Yeah.
mean, as an overall player, we know defensively he's lacking.
Yeah.
Uh,
Less than one steal a game, less than
yeah,
one block a game. Does grab rebounds though. I mean,
right.
yeah, he
Again,
protects.
offensively, he rebounds and he scores.
He's not a rim protector, but he'll protect the paint for you. I mean, he's a big body. Love the game, but it's just yeah, he's you need to put a high flyer next to him to kind of mask his lack
Yeah,
of rim
there's
protection.
the only thing you see in this round is there's high upside with some of the guys, but there's also it's the injuries. I've
Like
had Curry the last few years. Curry's going to
yeah,
give you points, assists. He's been missing a lot of games the last couple of years.
yeah.
And again, as he's getting older, you're seeing that because just his body type, he gets beat up.
Yeah, well, a lot of these guys are. I mean, even Scotty Barnes, they were saying that, he's missed time, a lot of time, and that guy,
Barnes, Ingram,
27 years old, Ingram,
LaMelo,
Franz
Jaren
Wagner.
Jackson.
I think even Franz Wagner has missed some time, so it could be a load management.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
Wagner missed a big portion last year too.
and it could be that it's a load management thing, and it could be aging, or it could just be just these guys have been playing since they were like 10 years old, and then their bodies have
Hmm.
gone through the gamut. But I mean, okay, you want a guy who you could depend on because of longevity and durability. Well, there's DeMar DeRozan. He's almost 40 years old, but let's get him then, right? Right?
Right.
Nikola Vucevic, I think he can stay pretty healthy, but we just talked about him like he's like he's a deficient player, high floor, low ceiling type of player, I guess, or medium ceiling. I'll give him some credit. I like Vooch. It's just the lack of rim protection from a center. I don't know, man. It doesn't sit well with me, and that's why the
Right.
Bulls suck too, probably. LaMelo Ball going to Mike's team. That was an interesting pick. I think that's the pick to make, I guess. But I don't know, man. LaMelo, he's a sloppy player, can't stay healthy. I don't like his game. It's
It's
all
just
flash,
to
no
me,
substance.
it's just the health.
Yeah,
There's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of flash.
yeah.
But consistency wise, his numbers are they are what they are. I mean, he's gonna get you a lot of assists, but he's just one of those. Again, fantasy wise, his numbers look great.
hmm
Actual basketball wise, I think he's overrated in many ways.
Yeah, I'm done with him, man. I'm done. He can't even stay healthy, and when he goes out there, you're definitely wanting something else from him. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. would have been the pick to make here for Mike's team.
I
But
mean,
no,
Jaren's another one of those guys, though. I love Jaren,
yeah.
but he is hurt every year
He's hurt and he doesn't average a lot of rebounds, is what I found out. I thought, how is this guy not averaging a double double per game? He seems like he has the tools for it,
because
and
he goes for every block. He's actually so active defensively that he loses rebounds.
that's a good point. Yeah, that's a really good
Because
point.
again, he's a tremendous defender.
Yeah. Yeah, he's projected to average 20 points per game, six
Mhm.
rebounds though. I mean, man, come on, man. Big guy like you should be averaging 10 rebounds a game. I'm turning
Yeah,
it to Charles Barkley here a little bit. But yeah, you're right. 1.74 blocks per game. Yeah. That's his projected blocks per game. To get put that in perspective, a guy like Evan Mobley, who I also am infatuated with because of his blocking ability, projected to get 1.28 blocks per game. So there you go. Anyway, let's see, trying to get some shine really quick to some of the players. Tyler going with well, we mentioned Curry, we mentioned Vucevic going to Bob, Franz Wagner going to Alex's team, Kevin Durant. So yeah, he's the one who picked Kevin Durant. Primo did. Primo picked Kevin
mhm.
Durant. Brandon Ingram to Angel. Tim going with Scotty Barnes. Tyler gets Jamal Murray, who I don't know. Jamal Murray's such an uninspiring selection. I mean, I'm gonna try to take it easy on Tyler because this is gonna be his first season in this league. But I'm really more talking about Jamal Murray as a whole. I don't know. It's the whole team is built around Nikola Jokic, and then everybody else is just the second banana. So that's how I see Jamal Murray. You got RJ Barrett, former Knicks player, making the way back to your team. Why didn't you pick DeMar DeRozan, man?
He's old.
Okay,
You
but
can
he's
see that
healthy.
he's old. Yeah, but you know what? He is. But I don't know. To me, his upside is not great, and
Yeah.
that he's not the focal point there.
What, man? You didn't
Uh,
want to do the Sabonis and DeRozan stack on your team? What's up, man?
no, definitely not. I do try and avoid. too many guys from the same team as much as possible, but it doesn't
Right,
always work out that way, obviously.
right. Well, sometimes it works out. I mean, Bob got Vucevic and Giddy on the same team back to back. DeMar DeRozan going to Aaron's team because of course she did. The former
Hmm.
Canadian superstar. Although Drake is no longer on his good side anymore, so he, he has a hurt. Never mind. I was gonna say something derogatory, but I'm gonna keep it to myself. Derek White was the only questionable pick I had here. I've had Derek White before, and he solid but unspectacular pick. I know that with the Celtics, they're lacking production because of the injury to Jason Tatum. So maybe their upside is there. And then he goes back to back Derek White and then Alex Sarr, who I'm looking at to see who else would have qualified at center. Kawhi Leonard qualifies at center, but that's too risky. Trey Murphy qualifies at center, but that's an injury concern. Miles Bridges qualifies at center this league, man. I swear to God. But so yeah, I'm surprised he didn't go. But Miles Bridges also has history of domestic abuse. Chet Holmgren, but again, injury concerns, and now he's relegated to like the third banana. But if EJ wanted to stack those Thunder players, Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren on the same team, on the same fantasy team, that could have happened.
Hmm.
And then the last center, Rudy Gobert. Oh my God, yeah, I don't feel good about that one. But yeah, Alex Sarr. Thoughts on Alex Sarr? Third round pick that he is right here. Thoughts on Alex Sarr going to the season?
I really like Sarr. He's should be more of a focal point there. He was their number one guy last year, the number one pick.
Yeah.
He did
Yep.
kind of come on towards the end he was on my team.
Mm.
Towards the end when they were starting to give him more and more playing time. So we'll see kind of where that projects to. If it's the number 31 might be a little low, but again, like I said, they're going to be showcasing the vets, so we'll see how much CJ decides to pass him the ball.
The other problem with the Wizards is they got a lot of young, intriguing players.
They do.
But and I'll just name them really quick: Bob Carrington, Trey Johnson, who I ended up picking at the back end of the draft here,
Hmm.
Cam Whitmore,
Yeah.
Bilal Coulibaly, who I had last year, and I was impressed by his game. Keyshawn George, although I don't think much about him, but
Yeah.
he looks like a newer name. I have to assume that he's been recently drafted, and then of course Alex Sarr, and and there's AJ Johnson too. I think that's a guy that was recently selected. Anyway, and let me see. I'm looking it up. I'm trying to do two things at once. Anyway, um, what pick did you absolutely love and wish you would have had a chance to kind of redo it and say, "Damn, I should have had this guy instead." You have any regrets here in the third round?
Do I have any regrets?
Sure. Something different to ask you. Go ahead.
Not really. Like a lot of the guys, I'm not sure about. I went with Murphy because of upside of what he did after Ingram got traded.
Yeah.
The rest of the guys, Miles, I don't know. I don't trust Miles. Bain is what is he there? Is he the third, fourth option in Orlando?
I'm sorry. Desmond Bain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
And
question.
then
I don't even
Banchero,
know.
Wagner,
So Desmond Bain relegated to spot up duty then, or three and
right.
D
You
work.
know,
But I do like
uh,
Desmond Bain. Maybe in a categories league, I would love him even more, but
I
not in
kind of like Denny also in this round.
Denny Avdija.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him too.
Jalen
If
Green is a black hole.
yeah, I don't like Jalen Green anymore.
You know, uh, I don't like Gobert. Holmgren is just an injury concern. If he's healthy, I mean, he
Yeah,
might put up.
I would
But
have
Holmgren's in kind of like a feels like a three-way running back committee. You got Holmgren, Jalen Williams, and
Jalen Williams.
and
No, I'm
and
joking.
Hartenstein.
Yes, yes, good, good.
So are they going to split those minutes evenly between the three of them? Kind of rotate them around. Who's going to
Yeah,
get the? I don't know what's going to happen there.
but I was ready to snatch up Chet Holmgren, and then Primo took him. Yeah, so these four guys right here, just it was like kind of, well, I mean, last year was crazier, right? You remember we
Mhm.
were complaining about that. Man, we're all picking next to each other. This sucks. Meanwhile, the top three, the top five picks are like, what kind of party's going on in the back end of the draft? Because everybody's like gouging eyes out and busting up noses because we were like beating. This year wasn't so bad, but yeah, getting next to these guys was a pain in my butt. I thought I was gonna. There was a good chance I was gonna get Chet Holmgren in the third round. Instead, Primo gets him. I was looking at Austin Reeves, and then Bob
So
snatches
did
him
you
up
go
too.
center just because you needed a big at this point,
Yeah,
or
oh yeah. The goal was to, having back-to-back picks. Yeah, might as well get a center as much as possible. If you can get a center, in every pit,
because
in every, and
to me it's that strategy when you're at the ends. It's kind of like if you need a thing and you wait, you might not have anything.
yeah, there's no such thing as too early in the 12th. Either you like the guy or you just gonna kiss him goodbye because you're never gonna get a chance to get him again.
Right.
But I had a couple of bullets here, Chet Holmgren and Austin Reeves, and I think my strategy was like, if you can do it, grab a center with one of your two picks because I get back-to-back picks. So with one of your two picks, grab a center, and that's not a bad thing to think about because everybody qualifies at center. Fred, I didn't know that Miles Bridges qualifies at center. I didn't realize
Yeah,
that's
there was a couple of like I drafted a couple of guys, and then all of a sudden it was like when I looked at them, I'm like, oh, they qualify at center, or
like I know that
oh, Trey Murphy.
yeah, Trey Murphy's a center, yeah, and a power forward and a shooting guard, a
I mean,
positionless NBA, right? And it's transferred
yeah,
over to fantasy.
I figured he qualified at both forward spots and guard because I saw him. They kind of used him basically as an all-around wing, but the
Yeah.
center thing kind of surprised me.
Yeah, well, the other solution was to because we had two options, right? We either I don't know what the option like what the specific terms were for those two options, but there was the option to be very strict and austere with the positions, which when I showed you guys what they were, it was every player only has one position, and you guys
Yeah.
got all mad. All right, well, CBS gives me an option to open things up a little bit, so I
hmm
did, and now we have the positionless NBA transferring over
I,
to fantasy. Go ahead.
yeah, I mean, I'd rather have it this way. I've been in
Okay.
league where it's so strict, and then you can't start it. If you get like an injury, then you're just like completely, you know, strangled. Basically, you have to like waive somebody you don't want to waive to
Yeah,
like fill up a
yeah,
spot.
yeah. By the
It
way,
gets kind of crazy.
yeah, I love it. You guys wanted the roster flexibility. You got it. 16 players on every team. I mean, you'll see on the back end of the draft, it got a little murky there at the end. But
Mhm.
getting back to the Wizards, Keyshawn George, first round pick from last year. Actually, it looks like he was a Knicks pick. Like what he got traded then? I don't know, but he's 24th pick overall last season in the 2024 draft. Keyshawn George of the Wizards. The other guy, AJ Johnson, last year's first pick overall, round one, 23rd pick overall by way of Milwaukee, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, so they have all these first round picks and they don't know what to do with them. So, but yeah, let's bring in CJ McCollum and Chris Middleton and Corey Kispert still on that team.
Mhm.
And Marvin Bagley, bring him over too. Maybe we'll figure something out with him. Maybe we can trade him at the deadline too. Anyway, my story about Rudy Gobert. It was between him, Ivica Zubats, and there was one more center that I was really. Oh, Jared Allen. Looking back, I should have just sucked it up and gotten Jared Allen, but I kept seeing the scouting reports or the fantasy outlook for this upcoming season. Like Zubats will be relegated to the fourth or fifth option, and John Collins is on the team, so they might go small and play John Collins at center. So like, okay, maybe I won't get Zubats, but I'll definitely keep an eye on John Collins because I do like John Collins. And then Jared Allen, it's one thing to say that Evan Mobley has kind of become the number one big man, but to also be the number one shot blocker and the number one rebounder, then I started thinking, well, what the hell is Jared Allen good for then? If he can't get your rebounds and blocks, and because Evan Mobley's going to take all those away from him, why should I get Jared Allen then? So I'm like really like scrambling here, like, well, shit, I want a center. I need a center. And I guess I should have gone with Donovan Klingenman. Maybe I should have just stuck with Ivica Zubats. I go, okay, well, Rudy Gobert, we know what to get out of Rudy Gobert, right? Rebounds, blocks, and maybe some 10 points every year, maybe 8 points. Who knows? We know what he is. What I didn't realize, James, and that's the one dude's outlook I didn't read up on before I made the pick, which was a stupid
Mhm.
mistake, my rookie mistake on my part. But I figure, well, Rudy Gobert, we know what to expect from him. Blocks, defense, rebounds, and we're good to go. Steals, Defensive Player of the Year award recipient multiple times. I'm good to go here. Let's go with the surefire thing as opposed to what I usually go with, the young players. Let's go with Rudy Gobert. And then I read the outlook afterwards and I forgot, oh crap, he did have a really crappy playoff series last season. And he's already in his mid 30s. His production's going down. So I regretted this pick immediately. I didn't like this. I hated the third and fourth round of this. I know it's the what is it the fifth and sixth round virtually because
Yeah.
of the two keepers. Still, this I'll put it this way: last year was a lot smoother in terms of the draft for me last season, as opposed to this year. This year sucked for me, and I don't know what it is. Maybe I didn't prepare enough, or maybe it's everybody else getting so good. I figured people would have a lackluster feeling because Felipe was so dominant last year. Like I don't know, I don't know what the enthusiasm level was, but if anything, this draft showed me that you guys might have come a lot better prepared as a collective, more than I anticipated. But yeah, I look around. I don't like any of these players. So then again, I am getting Kevin Porter once again because I can't give up on Kevin Porter. Hopefully, this is the time that
I mean,
he'll
I
relish the
mean,
role in
for
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee's sake, he better.
Yeah, for my sake, he better because I'm desperate here. But yeah, maybe I should have stuck with Michael Bridges. And you're a Knicks fan. I got to make sure I ask you this. So, no more Tom Thibodeau. So
Hmm.
guys like Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, and even Carl Anthony Towns, who that was a big thing with him, is he's always done well under Thibodeau, and he doesn't. It's relative, right? It's all relative. He becomes a monster under Tom Thibodeau, but with other coaches, he's just cat. He's just a kitty cat, right? Relatively speaking, he's still productive, but not as productive as under Thibodeau. So Bridges, but the main concern, Bridges, Hart, Anunoby, and I'm sure there's other players I'm missing. But my mentality was no more Thibodeau, no more heavy minutes, which means no more production because less playing time means less big numbers, right? Do you see it that way with your Knicks players from a fantasy outlook coming into the season? Or you think they'll still put up the gaudy numbers they were putting up last year because of all the playing time they were getting?
Honestly, I think offensively they might be better.
But then,
Bron,
well, that translates to production though, right? Because you,
Brown. Well, again, Brown's open offense. You know,
mm,
he's if you watched it all, he's doing what he did with the Lakers. It's like, you're gonna push the ball.
yeah,
It's what he's done everywhere. He's gonna push the ball. They're getting a lot of easy shots. They're doing more motion offense, so it should lead to more open shots, more ball movement, which was one of the things that I didn't like under Thibodeau was a lot of the, beat the ball into the ground lots of times with just Brunson. And to me, Cat got ignored a lot, which used to drive me crazy sometimes. It's
no
like,
man, Cat was not
post the
ignored.
ball up.
Cat was not ignoring, man. He was putting on big freaking numbers last year for me. I was super happy that I
No,
drafted
no, like I
him.
said, he was productive, but there's a lot of missed opportunity. They underutilized him in several
Mm.
ways if you watch the actual games. Like again, the numbers are there because Cat's gonna get his numbers somehow.
Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah, imagine
But
that.
if you utilized him the way that he should have been utilized, he probably could have averaged 5 or 6 assists a game.
Mm.
Because anytime that they actually went to him down low or gave him the ball at the top of the key, he's a very underrated passer.
Yeah,
Which surprised me because Thibodeau traditionally, he used to do it with when he had Noah, and Noah would catch that ball at the top of the key. Noah was a great passer, and he was
don't get me
he
started, bro.
couldn't shoot. We
Don't
all
get me
know
started.
this.
Don't get me started,
We
man.
all know this, but Noah was really good at passing out of that spot there.
I'll
And
put.
it's like they forget about him at points during the game, and it would cost them
Mm, I see what you're
when they
saying
should have
now.
been using him.
I see what you're saying, but yeah, the reason that Thibodeau used Noah in Chicago like that was because out of desperation, there were so many injuries. Derrick Rose was nowhere to be found. I think he was in Los Angeles
Hmm.
having a gangbang party with his homeboys there.
Incoming message.
With Sex Belt Jones over there. But no, I mean it was just out of necessity, and it was still one of the worst offenses in the league that year. But Joakim Noah looked so damn good. You're right, he's a really good passer, and
He was.
He took advantage of the situation, and Bulls fans were chanting MVP for some odd reason for Joakim
When they
Noah.
got Cat, the first thing that I thought of was how well when we had Hartenstein
Mm,
playing at that same little spot there. You
yeah,
give him the ball there, he's a good passer and he can get to the basket. And they would just like forget about him completely all the time.
but with Thibodeau, yes, he did use Noah, but it's more out of desperation and out of necessity. But with Thibodeau. He
Incoming
absolutely
message.
loves running the offense through to smallish point guards, whether it be
Mhm.
Derrick
Oh
Rose
yeah,
or
no, no, absolutely.
so that's his MO, right? Or it'd be jeez, I forgot John Lucas
But
the
guys, see, to me,
third.
like guys like Bridges and OG,
Yeah.
sometimes to me at the end of games they were tired
You
because there's
think?
there's heavy minutes with certain guys,
Yeah.
but if the thing with guys like Bridges and OG is they don't take a possession off on either end.
Yeah, that's the problem,
Okay,
right?
when you're paying heavy minutes for someone like Brunson or Cat, they're not playing defense the way these two guys are.
Yeah.
So you could see it at the end of the game sometimes where they didn't have their legs for
Yeah.
for shooting at the end, and so I think if they distribute it more, he's talking about playing more guys. They brought in they deepened the bench, so again, numbers might be better, shooting numbers might be better. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, my thing is like you if you're getting rid of Tom Thibodeau, it's because that means you want your your starting players, your starting lineup to get less minutes and more rest time. And less minutes should equal to less fantasy value, fantasy production. Because that,
Theoretically.
but yeah, I mean, the more minutes you get, the more chances you get to get fantasy points, right? If you get a player who's averaging 20 minutes a game, odds are he's going to average about, if you're lucky, he'll average 20 fantasy points.
Right, you know.
More realistically, it's going to be more like 15, 17
But
fantasy
so,
points.
some of that was, exaggerated also.
Hmm.
I mean, like I said, I'm kind of one of those guys where it's like, if you still got to play your best guys.
Right,
I
right.
kept saying last year, I'm like, who are we playing? The Knicks had no bench last year.
Yeah, that's the story with Tom Thibodeau. There's never a bench for Tom Thibodeau.
No,
Never.
there was no bench last year. It was Deuce.
It happened with the Bulls. It happened with the Timberwolves. There's never a bench for Tom Thibodeau.
They put themselves in a terrible position last year. That bench, there was no one productive off of that bench except for Deuce.
But I'm being a little bit of sarcastic here, right? I'm
No,
being
I know. I'm just
okay. Just
people.
making sure, because that's his MO, right?
People were
Like,
like, "What are you guys gonna? What can the Knicks do to improve?" I said, "Well, actual somebody who can actually put the ball in the basket off of the bench would be nice." They got and they did that. They went on. They got Clarkson. And he's a walking bucket.
yeah, yeah. I actually like that pickup, even though he's a little older. I do like. Well, anyway, is there a player in the fourth round here? Oh man, I see that Jalen Duren got selected. Maybe I should have just gone with Jalen Duren in the third round.
I
Uh,
thought you were gonna go Duran.
yeah,
I was surprised. Like I said, when you picked Gobert, I was kind of like, we've had discussions where we don't like Gobert, and you picked Gobert. I was like, okay,
yeah.
you know,
Like I said,
uh,
it was either
and
Zubats,
you traditionally, like you said, you traditionally go younger.
yeah,
So
and
when I was looking, because I figured I was like, okay, he needs a big. I was like, I figured you were gonna take a big on the turn. I kind of thought it would be Duran,
yeah,
maybe like you said, maybe Jared Allen, but or even
yeah.
Klingon. I thought, his upside wise.
No, I was hoping to get Klingon in the next batch of back-to-back picks. That's what I was really
The
hoping.
bigs go quickly in this
Oh,
draft because you have the two center thing.
I know. I'm the architect of this league, but I still, I still thought, well, it looks like Klingon can be had a little bit later, and maybe I can get him in the next batch. That's honestly, I thought that,
You've
but
made everyone paranoid about drafting centers because you always snatch them up.
last year I did.
This is your own doing.
Well, but that's because for the first 4 or 5 seasons, I was ignoring centers. I figured I just want to get best player available and forget about positional scarcity. And it's not a coincidence that last year I did focus on centers, but not just any centers, but like you said, young up and coming potential high upside guys at center, like the
Mhm.
Okongwus and the Jalen Durans. I might have gotten them too early, but it worked out for me. But I think maybe it's the mentality. Well, I'm in the 12th spot. I need to get a surefire thing. But and then ironically enough, I end up getting questionable picks in Rudy Gobert and Kevin Porter, when maybe the choice to make here would have been Michael Bridges and Zach LaVine. Like, oh, Zach LaVine. Ugh. Anyway, any player you want to shut the spotlight here in the fourth round before we move on?
I kind of I was very intrigued by Klingon.
Yeah,
Uh, again, I had bigs already, but it's kind of like, what are you drafting for at this point? So I went with the point guard, even though he's going to be out a little bit at the beginning.
yeah, yeah. But that's a hell of a
Um,
good point guard, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
and again, position wise, I kind of needed a point guard.
Just want to point out that Aaron, after picking Kawhi Leonard, she goes and gets Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, there was a part of me that feels that like Leon was drafting for her this
You
year.
know what? That's what I thought too. But no, well, first of all, it's the Autobot, but I don't care,
Oh,
man. I trust Aaron that she queued up her players and that she strategized before she
I
went
think
on the
maybe she's sending
autopilot.
her Canadian medical team, providing healthcare for these guys this year. I don't
Oh,
know what
maybe,
she's
maybe,
doing.
maybe they'll get faster recovery, right?
Yeah,
I like the shit and sharp pick for EJ there. Just want to
yeah,
point that out. I was
that was a good pick.
hoping to get him on the comeback, but I know that Jacob likes him too, so I knew that was not going to be a possibility. Moving on to the fifth round, I didn't even realize that EJ picked Matas Buzelis. So yeah, yeah, it says 21.33 points. So maybe he's a year early on this one, and there's a lot of decent players in this fifth round, but.
Yeah, that one kind of surprised me.
But I mean, I've listened to a couple of fantasy basketball podcasts, and they speak very glowingly about Matas.
Hmm.
So maybe EJ knows something that I don't know as a Bulls fan and as a fantasy player. But yeah, I Matas to me would have been a player to get much later in the draft. But well, who did he get? Oh, well, he got shit and sharp, so he probably figured that might as well take a roll the dice here because yeah, it's not too early when you're when you're anchoring the odd numbered rounds, right? Because your next pick
Right,
isn't gonna
like I
be
said, again, in his case, if
till
he
later.
really liked this guy, he just figured
Hmm
he's not going to get him coming back.
Because if he's drafting for upside, then yeah, Buzelis is the guy. Because OG Anunoby, we know what to expect from him, and maybe even less now.
Incoming message.
I still think what is that? It's been going on all day. Is that your voicemail or something or your phone?
Oh, it's the my text message thing.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is there a way to quiet that down? Because it's
Yeah,
driving me crazy. Sorry. Much appreciated, man. Thank you so much. Uh, OG, right? I still think that less minutes will equal less production, but we know what to expect from him. 28 points is pretty healthy. That's a
yeah.
and maybe even some limited upside with OG.
He's.
Go ahead.
I think I think in many ways I like him more than Mikhail,
Yeah,
because he's always going to rebound. He gets steals. He gets blocks.
yeah.
So even when he's off a little bit, and like last year, I think he took a lot of steps forward offensively
You know, a player that I
in this
don't
game.
like. I'm sorry. What was the last part? I'm sorry.
I said he really stepped up offensively in different
Mm,
aspects of the game, where before he was more of a spot up kind of guy.
mm. That's interesting insight there. You know, I was gonna point out. You know who I really don't like in this selection? Michael Porter.
Yeah. Uh,
Well, primary guy now in Brooklyn, but
is
is that?
Michael Porter going to average 28 points? Because I'm still waiting for him to pass to someone.
Oh, he's not. No, man. This is like he's a Jordan Poole of basketball players right now, man. Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all specul. I mean, what? But you know what?
I don't think he realized that there are other things in the box score.
I don't want to spend time on Michael Porter. He was somebody I was avoiding, in this
Okay.
draft. So Emmanuel quickly. I mean, I guess I would have drafted Emmanuel quickly over Matas Buzelis if I'm EJ. Then there's like a death valley of centers with three guys. Well, maybe not so much Nicholas Claxton, but for sure Mark Williams and Kristaps Porzingis. Kristaps Porzingis going in the sixth pick in in fifth round to Tyler's team, and then Mark Williams going to Tim's team in the seventh pick in the
Well,
fifth round.
Tyler had to pick Porzingis because of his team name. He didn't have really a choice. It was like an obligation.
Well, no, I think he changed it after he realized he got Porzingis. I don't know because it was something
No,
else.
it was already his name.
I thought it was MVP. Anyway,
Yeah, that was
okay,
before.
I'll
Yeah,
take your word for it. Fine. I mean, Nicholas Claxton, that's actually a really good pick by Angel. I think he got the best of that bunch because at least I don't think
yeah.
Claxton has a history of injuries, right? I think he's young
No,
and
he doesn't. Like Mark Williams, I don't understand why people keep drafting this man. He probably got hurt when he went. If he walked up to the podium or something.
he got hurt just with the low humidity but high heat in Arizona, right?
Yeah,
Paul George, that I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it. But I'm like, nah, I don't want to deal with Paul George anymore. I'm done with Paul George. But the
yeah.
Sixers fan said, no, give me more Paul George. Primo getting Paul George. Uh, is this a bounce back year for George? What do you think?
I don't think so.
Okay, Cam Thomas, there's another Knicks player, Josh Hart, and then then I figure, okay, screw this. Throw the game plan. I don't know what happened to with my rankings, but I don't like the fact that my rankings told me to somehow end up with both Rudy Gobert and Kevin Porter. Let's go with some guys I trust and believe in. Jaden Ivey, Jaden Ivey and John Collins going back to back. I'm not sure if this is gonna help me redeem myself a little bit, but at least these are the picks that I'm more comfortable making. At least I didn't question my sanity here a little too much here. Definitely, Jaden Ivey's a better pick than Jordan Poole, so I'm happy with that. You guys know how well, you know how I feel about Jordan Poole. You know how I feel about guys like Michael Porter. Don't get me started because I might go off the deep end here, but no pun intended. Jordan Poole off the deep end, and Jordan Poole just better not mess up Zion Williamson this year for me because I'm gonna go down to New Orleans and I'm gonna strangle him. Anyway, EJ thought I was gonna get Miles Turner in this round, or yeah, in this batch of back-to-back picks.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Miles Turner, I think is a good value here.
Yeah, just limited upside for me. Just
He's gonna,
this.
you know, he again rebounds, blocks. He's gonna be getting lots of open threes because of Giannis.
Yeah,
That's what he's there for.
yeah, but I don't know. It's a guy who struggles to get to 30 minutes a game, and yeah, when I had him, he struggled to get to 30 fantasy points a game too. So I'm like,
So,
okay, we
it's a different situation
sure,
in
sure,
Milwaukee.
sure, we can go with that, but it's still the Giannis show, and then I'm banking on the fact that Kevin Porter's a second guy. And then who else is over there? They don't got much of anything. But when Bobby Portis comes off the bench, Bobby Portis might still be a better option coming off the bench than Miles Turner at this point playing center. That's just my opinion.
Mm.
But
Again, they're kind of similar, except Turner's a better defender.
yeah, the
Uh,
blocks, sure. Yeah.
you gotta figure that Turner, they didn't spend that money on Turner to have him sit around.
No, they spend that money on Turner to get him away from Indiana, division rival. Come on, man. You know how it works.
I mean, they had to replace the old man, Brooks.
Gary Trent Jr. and Kyle Kuzma over there. So yeah, I'm starting to like my Kevin Porter pick a little bit more now. So I'm okay.
I like the Porter pick. Like I said, they need a point guard.
I hope you're right, bro.
You know, I had him kind of like stuck in there to see if he would fall there.
No, I've been burned by Porter so many times,
I
man. I got
know.
burned by him in
Listen, I feel the same way. I've
Houston,
had him before, and it was just kind of like.
Cleveland, yeah,
But again, sometimes you got to look
Clippers.
at the opportunity.
Yeah, sure, the opportunity. Okay, Eminem, I got you. Um,
Talent has to mean opportunity at some point, otherwise it'll be his last contract.
any questionable picks in this round for you? You know what? What I wanted to do was spotlight one of at least one team per round, and I've already failed in that regard. Is there a team we haven't talked about too much here uh,
Uh,
yet? We
I don't think
mentioned
we've talked about
Angel.
swishing and dishing too much over there. He's got
Yeah,
D'Angelo
Jacob.
this
Yeah,
round.
Jacob is getting away from not meeting my wrath here. Let me go back a little bit. What did he do in the fifth round? OG, okay, Homer pick. What about the fourth round? What did he do in the fourth round? Oh, so
Um,
he took Jared. Yeah, he didn't
he
hesitate
took
to
Jared
take Jared
Allen.
Allen. So Jared Allen, OG Anunoby, and then the sixth round was D'Angelo Russell. Rest in peace of D'Angelo, by the way.
Again, D'Angelo is what he is, and while Kyrie's off recuperating, might have a little upside, more upside at the beginning of the year than later.
That is
But
the
he's basically,
guy's.
like you said, he's going to be a lot of spot up shooting
Man, I know
because
you.
it
Wait,
seems like they're going to Cooper flag this offense.
hold on, my friend. I know you're just not gonna bypass my little homage and to former R&B singer D'Angelo, who just recently passed away this week. Come on, man. You're not gonna bypass
We
D'Angelo,
we we
man.
we we gonna give us a note?
You want me? Which one? Yeah, I love the Black Messiah album, man. I was bumping that back in 2014. I'll tell you what. Between that and the Kendrick Lamar album, it was a good year for music that season. But
So does the little asterisk mean auto draft?
I think so, yeah. Or
Okay.
I think one is auto draft, the other one is it was a queued up pick. I don't know what the difference is,
Oh, okay.
but I don't know. I assume
Yeah,
that,
because I saw some that have one asterisk and some that have two. I didn't know what the.
yeah. As far as I'm
McConnell
concerned,
was kind of an interesting pick here.
yeah, the bot. I'm at one asterisk, two asterisk, all the asterisks, no asterisk, or
I mean,
well,
I guess because we don't know when Achilles is going to be back.
Oh no, no, that's it for Halliburton, man. That's it for him, man. The Halliburton player you we all loved. I said tell that to the Knicks fan. The Halliburton player that we all loved here.
Taliban.
The yeah, that's it. He's not going to be the same, man. I know people are going to point out, oh, look at Kevin Durant. Yeah, Kevin Durant has had to go on this massive load management to still be
I've had this
productive.
discussion about Achilles injuries, and people are always like, "Oh no, well, this one came back." I said, when you look at guys who have come back from the Achilles injury, there's only been two guys who ever like returned to All-Star form, like to true All-Star form, and that's Dominique Wilkins and Kevin Durant.
Yeah, and Dan Marino.
Denver. Every other guy who's had an Achilles injury has never come back the same way. I mean, people are talking about Tatum. Oh, when Tatum's back next year, the Celtics will be great. And I'm like, yeah, we're gonna see about that.
Nah, bro. And
I was
then
like, a lot of Tatum's game is his athleticism. He's a good shooter, but if he's just basically a shooter, is that,
he's basically Miles Turner. It's,
yeah,
I'm joking.
I,
I'm joking.
I don't know. But like I said, we'll see.
And I wish we had more time to name all the players here. There's some interesting names here. Who's this Khalil Ware guy? Like, I've seen his name before, but
Okay,
I
so
was not ex I'm sorry,
Khalil
what?
Ware is again, he was their pick last year.
Hmm.
He moved Adebayo to the four by the end of the year.
Ah, that's right. Okay.
All right. So but at the end of the year, if you look at his numbers, when he went into the starting lineup, he was averaging like 18, 10, and a couple
Okay.
of blocks.
All right. I'll take your word for
So
it. I had Bam. I love
I
what.
decided to go with some upside there, and he's got, 5 and 4 eligibility.
Yeah, I like what Bam did last year. So if it's because of Khalil Ware, okay, I thank you for that. Um,
I listen, I was saying for several years now, I said Bam is a four, not a five.
mhm.
So I think it benefited the both of them. Ware can also shoot the three, which helps Bam also, because if one of them is posting, the other one's outside shooting.
Let's
And that was
see.
one of the things that Ware kind of added to their offense at the end of the year too, because he could hit the outside.
I would like the Isaiah Collier selection if I knew what the hell Utah was trying to do with see because they have at least three point guards on that team, and they all are gonna get their minutes, and it's
Yeah,
really frustrating because Keontae George would score 50 fantasy points in one game, and then for the rest of the week he'll play like 11 minutes,
right.
and because the dumbass Jazz are just like, oh, let's keep losing on purpose, you guys, come on. Let's just lose on purpose. Let's try to play who doesn't want to be here.
Yeah,
Ace Bailey.
yeah.
You
There's
know,
definitely a logjam of what are we doing at that position there?
yeah, three decent point guards. I got Isaiah Collier, Keontae George, Walter Clayton Jr.
Walter Clayton Jr. I like him a lot
I
actually.
like him a lot too, but we don't know
When
where
I've
he's
seen him play,
playing.
I mean, I like what he does. He's
And
got
that
great court vision.
and don't get me started on what's going to happen with the front court situation because Laurie's the only one who's going to be Laurie Markkinen is going to be the only one that's guaranteed when he's healthy to get the minutes. But then you also got Taylor Hendricks, Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler should be averaging a double double.
Well,
What stop?
Kessler should be the center.
And he's
As far as the other position up front, I drafted a guy later who they're saying he's going to get 30 minutes a night.
yeah,
A
we'll
rookie,
see.
Ace Bailey.
Yeah. Well, and I mentioned Hendricks, I mentioned Kessler, and then the other guy, Kyle Filipowski, who also puts up monster games whenever he's given the minutes. But then he'll give you a 50 fantasy point breakout.
They just don't seem to be sold on him for whatever reason.
Yeah, because then the next game, the same thing. They'll play him for like 10 minutes, and we're back to square one with this guy. Like, what?
Yeah.
He just
Like I said,
scored all these points last game. Why are you not?
I scooped up Bailey very happily based on all the reports and that they're
Yeah,
planning on playing him 30 minutes and
no,
that he's going to be Markkinen's running mate up there.
I like Ace
So we'll
Bailey.
see.
I like Ace Bailey coming into this the real draft, the NBA draft.
Hmm.
The only thing I didn't like was that he went to Utah and turns out he didn't want to be there and the Jazz are a freaking mess and they're purposely losing. I mean, like I said, the situation with Keontae
And
George
again,
and
I wouldn't be shocked if they trade Markkinen this year. I was
oh
kind of
yeah,
surprised they didn't do it last year.
yeah.
So I
That
mean
time is
that
coming.
wouldn't shock me at all this year.
That time is coming. You'll see. You'll see. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
no, like I said, that wouldn't shock me at all, and that'll just open up things more for the kid.
and the other only questionable. Well, one of the questionable picks. There's a lot of questionable picks here anyway, as well. I mean, even the TJ McConnell pick was kind of questionable because the only guard, the backcourt player to get it for the Pacers from the Pacers was Aaron Nemhard, and I think he was already taken. I think we already mentioned his name. McConnell's a good, decent player, but I don't know. This is too early for him, man. He just has limited upside,
I mean, who's
and
their point guard besides him at this point?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Who's their point guard besides him at this point?
Andrew Nemhard is the listed starter,
Is
which
he?
yeah, Andrew Nemhard, which yeah, he did start in the when Halliburton went out. It was Andrew
Hmm.
Nemhard who had to step up, and he tried his best to you know what do you call it stay in the game, keep the Pacers in the game, but obviously he's just not as good as Halliburton. But Nemhard was the one who was given those minutes, and McConnell was the one coming off the bench. And I've seen McConnell too. I've seen McConnell like explode, just have these nasty ass, crazy ass games in fantasy in terms of fantasy points. And then the next game he's given 30 minutes to play with and doesn't do anything. It's like like the league quickly adapts to the guy, right? That's why
Hmm.
he's a bench player, and that's why Andrew Nemhard gets the starting nod over DJ McConnell. But yeah, then Mike, you'll see, might as well go to the next round. Sixth round, Benedict Matherin. What does he do with the seventh round? Aaron
Look,
Nesmith.
there's
Like,
Nemhard.
yeah, yeah. So that's the pick to have right there. So all the Pacers guards are going in this round, but or the not just the guards, but the perimeter players. But this is a crime against nature, man. How many times do I have to tell you guys? Stop picking your homer picks. You can't do. You should at least limit yourself to one. But
Hmm.
you can't draft the entire team to be on your fantasy team. I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna sound like right now? I'm gonna sound like Mel Kiper. This is why every year he's sitting on the bench playing for number one picks instead of playing for Super Bowls.
Hmm.
Not
Yeah.
to be too mean about it, but come on. Don't like the Brad Beal pick. I hate that pick. Jacob trying to unlock the pass. Who did he get in the other round? Let me see. Oh, D'Angelo Russell. Oh, so suddenly I don't feel so bad at my Rudy Gobert and Kevin Porter picks now when this guy gets D'Angelo Russell. I love it when we're cruising together. DeAndre Ayton, I was thinking about him. I was thinking about it. Maybe I can get him in my next pick. And then you snatched him up. You're not concerned about the lack of motor over there? What's going on there?
No, Aiden's always been an intriguing guy. I think out there with LeBron, it's got some upside.
And
He
speaking
should,
of,
he should get a lot of easy buckets.
yeah,
And if it's kind of like he's hitting the end of the road there. He's got to show something.
did you
I
say
think
the,
this late in the draft, it was good upside to me.
yeah, maybe he'll become a boys to men at the end of the road.
Yeah.
A boy, I'm sorry, a boy from a boy to a man and man up a little bit. Speaking of Jason Tatum, yeah, middle of the round here, round seven to Tyler's team. And this one was a head scratcher.
So Tatum's not going to play this year.
No, this is clearly like I'm just gonna stash him for the next. He's gonna be my keeper next year, which I gotta admire the strategy. But bro, that's. I mean, you talk about playing the long game. This is not just the long game. This is the eternal game for this
But
guy.
I mean, I don't think anybody was going to draft him at this point.
Well, I mean, you saw what happened. Like Halliburton got drafted. Damian Lillard got drafted. Like
Right, but
why?
like later, no?
True. Yeah, that's the
Like
thing
in
that
round seven, I don't see it. Like if he had been around, once we got to like 10 or 11, I might have been like, you know what?
not too shabby.
Because at that point, you're basically picking, complete whatever might happen,
Yeah.
you're looking
Yeah.
at upside. Then I might do something like that for a stash for next year. But in round seven, I mean,
Well, let's go back. His keepers were, if I could, if I can work a mouse properly. Tingus Pingus, Jalen Brunson, who was projected to get 42 points per game, and then the other guy. So he has the 17th and 19th best keeper players, and Jimmy Butler at 40 points. He probably figures, well, Jason Tatum will be my third keeper for next season. And suddenly my keeper outlook looks better, but that's with the assumption that Jason Tatum's actually gonna play up to par.
right.
Which those Achilles, man, that's hard to come back from. I mean, we take it for granted that players they get surgery and then they feel better because we've conquered knees, right? The knees and the elbows, right? We conquer
Right. So
those joints.
again, knees and okay, as someone who has had an Achilles injury, people don't understand how the Achilles injury works as opposed to a knee.
Yeah,
The ligament in the knee can be sewn back together, and you basically get most of your function back. With
Mm-hmm.
the Achilles, it actually depends.
Mm.
If you get a straight tear, like me, you lose like a millimeter or two. It doesn't really have a big effect. But most people, the doctor told me, you get what's called a jagged tear. Okay, so when it's a jagged tear, they have to cut and straighten on both ends to get flats, and then sew that back together.
Oh my God.
That's the case with most people. So you can lose 4 or 5 inches, and then so you never gain that back, no matter what happens. You're never going to have that mobility and flexibility in that leg, and it's more likely to tear again.
Jeez, man, that sounds awful.
So,
That
you don't when you hear someone say tear or degrade type of thing on an Achilles, it can mean a very big difference. And it sounded like his was severe from the reports of it.
well, they all look nasty, bro. I'm telling you, they all look nasty. But anyway, quickly checked on Tingus Pingus' team, and he has Karl Anthony Towns, and he drafted Peyton Pritchard in the previous round. So he figured, well, I got Peyton Pritchard, who's gonna be more productive this year out of necessity for the Celtics. But I'll stack him up with Jason Tatum too. Why not for next season? So I get a good Celtics player now, and I get a good Celtics player later, maybe. And then he also got Kristaps Porzingis. But the big one is Karl Anthony Towns. That should improve his stock for next year by a lot. But he's still, that's the hope is what then what? So you're not gonna keep Jalen Brunson or Jimmy Butler because you're gonna keep what Karl Anthony Towns and Jason Tatum and maybe Jalen Brunson between one of the. What I meant to say is, so you're gonna make a choice between Jalen Brunson and Jimmy Butler. Let's say you go with Jalen Brunson. So what? That means Karl Anthony Towns and Jason Tatum for next season because we're keeping three players next year. Is that what's
Right.
happening here? That was my thought was that well, if Jason Tatum is a keeper then picking him this early, even if it's the virtual ninth round, that's what you're hoping for, right?
You would figure, I mean,
Yeah.
unless he's planning on making some sort of a trade, but then if you make another trade, does that mean that you're putting yourself in a position where you're really having to let go of someone that would be a keeper?
You know,
If you're planning on keeping Tatum, because I mean, if you're drafting Tatum at this point, he's got to be your keeper.
yeah,
Otherwise, there's no. But how does it make sense for you to pick someone in the seventh round that you know is not going to play this year?
yeah. Well, we'll see if Tyler responds to our questions here. You know what? We should have questions for everybody, but I don't know. We're already deep into it. Um, and then looking back, I mean, I guess you could say, well, none of these players are ever going to be as good as Jason Tatum, but like to your point, well, a lot of these guys are still have their bodies intact, right? I like the Nas Reed one's always Nas Reed as a draft selection is always interesting. Going to Primo's team, always an interesting selection with Nas Reed, and this might be the year where he finally overtakes Rudy Gobert, and he becomes the number one
I
guy.
really like Nas, and again, it's because of the Gobert as he getting older,
Yeah, they give him
And to
like,
me, Nas is just a better fit with
mm,
Julius
yeah, yeah,
because Nas can spot up. Nas is a very good 3-point shooter. So that opens things up for Julius, who's when he's posting and when he's distributing like he should be.
you know the thing about,
He's going to get those open threes where again Gobert's just a lob threat,
yeah, yeah,
and who has very bad hands offensively.
yes, he does.
You know, it.
He's basically a volleyball player. Gotcha.
Yeah,
You know what Nas Reed has? He brings that ether
yeah,
because Nas be like, come on, man,
right.
how many musical references am I gonna be making tonight, right? There's
No,
D'Angelo,
we
Boys to
can't seem to avoid
Men,
them.
Nas. Wait, what was the last one? What'd you say to me?
So we can't seem to avoid them, no?
No, no, I can't seem to avoid them. Like right now, I
Mm.
got Nas stuck in my head now because we're talking about Nas Reed. And let's face it, man, the best pick of this draft, especially in the second half of this draft, Draymond Green to my team. I look around like you guys are gonna give me Draymond Green again. I know he's getting old, and Jimmy Butler's on the team, and he did struggle a little bit at the end of the year, whether it
Getting
be
old?
he is old, sorry. Well, he has an old man's game, right? But he was very productive last year. You guys wish you had Draymond Green last season. You wish Draymond Green was on your team last season en route to a one-loss season last year, right? And a championship as well. But no, Draymond Green, he did struggle at the end, probably because he's getting older and there was maybe some fatigue factor, or maybe Jimmy Butler took away his touches. He qualifies at center, right, bro? He qualifies at
Mhm.
center. Triple single, yes. Quadruple single, yes. But those little points they add up, right? 5 points, 5 rebounds. That's 10 fantasy points right there. You get you 5 assists. That's another 10 points. That's 20 points right there. A block and a steal. That's 27 fantasy points with a chance to even get 30 fantasy points. I'll take it today, tomorrow, and yesterday. And then I went with Andrew Wiggins because I figure, well, Tyler Harrell's out. Andrew Wiggins should be the best perimeter player on that team. Maybe Norman Powell, if I remember correctly. Norman Powell's now with the
Yeah,
Heat.
they picked up Paul.
But I would figure that Wiggins would not only be the more offensive force by default, but also, he plays defense. So I like that pick. So I'm making up for the fact that I selected Rudy Gobert early, little by little. Um, what are we doing here, man? What do you want to do here? How are you gonna break down this eighth round for us? I'll let you
What are
talk.
we looking at here?
You tell me, man. You
I
tell me.
mean, we talked about the Washington guys, Carlton Carrington here.
Yeah, Bub. Yeah,
Could be a good pick.
yeah. Not surprising going to Alex's team. Not surprised. And speaking of Norman Powell, going to Jacob's team in the
Norman Powell.
11th pick in the
Yeah,
eighth round.
honestly, I would have gone Powell, but over Wiggins.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I do like Powell. Don't get me wrong. I do like Powell this year, but no, not over Wiggins. Not for me, at least. Um, there's your Ace Bailey pick right there. Averaging 16.91 points a game apparently because he's a rookie. But
Yeah.
he's a starting shooting guard according to ESPN, so that should count for something. DeAndre Hunter. When I was looking at this, my first thought about DeAndre Hunter going to EJ's team in this round
Uh,
was, what is the purpose of DeAndre Hunter? What is he here for?
I
Because
don't know.
we've been hearing about DeAndre Hunter since the day he was born, it seems like, or
He's
since the day he got drafted, I should say.
he's a mythological creature at this point.
The type of creature you hunt for, is that what you're saying? Hence the
It's
name.
like when he was on Atlanta, they kept talking, oh, he's an amazing player, a great defender, he's going to
Yeah.
develop and then boom, he's on Cleveland.
Now he's on Cleveland. Yeah.
And where is
That's
he playing on Cleveland?
I'm checking that out for you. ESPN has him as a starting small forward. There's really
Okay.
nobody else on that team to
So
overtake him anyway.
what usage is he getting there?
Oh no, man.
Because you've got Garland, Mitchell, your favorite player in the world,
Evan Mobley.
Evan
What?
Mobley.
And then
I'm like,
Lonzo Ball off the
I don't see
bench.
it.
Lonzo Ball off the
Barring
bench.
barring an injury, I don't see his usage being great.
So DeAndre Hunter, I mean, clearly 3 and D, which is
Yeah.
like the worst thing you can for fantasy circles. That's the worst thing you can have one of your players that you drafted be labeled as, because that
hmm
means go stand in the corner and then go play defense, and then get back on defense immediately
I mean,
because
that's
that's all you're
basically
doing.
what he's there for. They needed a defender because,
No,
Mitchell
bro.
and Garland are not great defenders.
3 and D in fantasy circle is just code word for non-factor on offense. Like get
Right.
as far away from the ball as possible, basically on offense. You ball hawk on defense. Maybe you'll get some steals, but that's not really your role. Your role is to chase around guys who are trying to get open, and then once you get on offense, go stand in the corner and wait for me.
Like I feel like he's a poor man's OG at this point.
Nah, I mean, he
He doesn't have
wishes.
OG's game that he should have.
He wishes. He's
He,
a poor man's.
he was rumored to have OG's game.
Oh, jeez, man. No. The original OG. No way. Well, I guess that's why they call him OG, and this guy's we're still hunting to see what he can. And then Jaden McDaniels is another guy. Like, is he something? Can he be a something in this fantasy league, or is he
Yeah.
just forever gonna be solid but unspectacular player going to Angels team here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. You've seen the talent, it just doesn't translate so far.
And Bob has had a good draft so far, and then he drafts Drew Holiday, which after thinking about it, I guess I could see Drew Holiday just the same thing with CJ McCollum. I guess, like you mentioned before, they'll
Has Drew
spotlight
Holiday
him.
not requested a trade from Portland yet? I mean, he
Oh, I
didn't
don't
want to go
know,
there the last time.
but it's gonna happen. He's
I mean, he
not
didn't
there
want to
for
go there the
long.
last time. I don't think he had to announce it again this time, right?
Well, it's definitely happening. I don't know when, but it is definitely happening. Probably when Scoot Henderson finally gets healthy in a couple of months. Uh, but yeah, Drew Holiday, even when he gets traded, he's gonna get traded to a good team. There's no way on God's green earth he's a starting point guard. Man,
Yeah,
if
I
he
mean,
gets drafted to the Milwaukee
Incoming
Bucks,
message.
God damn it.
They turned it off.
I
I was gonna.
did. What is wrong with this thing?
I was gonna say if Drew Holiday gets traded back to the Milwaukee Bucks, I'm gonna be so mad. Like, how dare you take away Kevin Porter's production? Damn it, Colin Sexton. I like Colin Sexton. What
Uh,
Colin what Colin Sexton could be in the NBA, but then the reality
well,
hits, and
Colin
then
Sexton will probably be starting at point guard after the 10th game when LaMelo Ball goes off for the rest of the year.
yeah, that's the only reason you get a Colin Sexton because there's still a
Uh-huh.
little bit of upside there. I
I
so
mean,
like I said,
is Tim the one that drafted LaMelo? He's got to
I
draft the handcuff.
no 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 I don't know who drafted. Let me go back. Let me who drafted
I don't
Lamelo.
remember who drafted LaMelo.
I don't think it was Tim. It was George. It was
Mike.
Mike. Sorry, George Mike. And it was it was
George Mike. Wow.
isn't that the player, right? That's his name, George Mike.
Yeah, showing your age there, I think. I don't know.
Get the hell! Who doesn't know about George Mike, man? Get the fuck out of here! You're showing your age there, Felipe. Like, I mean, I'm old, but come on, my basketball knowledge goes back, brother. Come on now.
Apparently, wow.
Damn, man. Well, okay, now if you really wanted to call me out on my age, you're lucky I didn't refer to him as George Michael
Oh my
and,
God.
and his sports machine,
Well,
not the other George Michael.
the
Free,
sports machine. Wow.
freedom. Well, what you know about the sports machine, man? Come on. Every Sunday I would look forward to it. I didn't have a cable. I didn't have ESPN
Yeah.
back in the day.
We had
There
Warner
was,
Wolf.
I'm sorry, what?
Warner Wolf.
What is now? Okay, now you're showing your age. What is that? What are you talking about?
He was like the original highlights guy on this on one of the New York stations. And every night he'd just go through the highlights every night.
Oh man, see. Now you're showing your age. Okay,
Oh yeah,
regionally speaking
absolutely.
too. Anyway, that's the eighth round. So yeah, I like the idea of what Colin Sexton could be, but in reality, he's not that guy. And now he's relegated to backup duties at both point guard and shooting guard because he has to sit behind Brandon Miller, shooting bricks all day, every day. Um, Kyle Kuzma, I don't know exactly what he does here. Zach Getty now suddenly looks like a surefire thing by comparison. Strike Force, DeAndre Hunter meets Derek Lively on the same team. Of course, with the Mavericks fan, had to get Derek Lively on the team.
Yeah,
I will.
I knew he was making that pick.
Eventually, right? At least he's making picks of his homer picks when they're supposed to happen. And you can make an argument for Cooper Flag too. I try making an argument for Cooper Flag, which reminds me I was supposed to give the phone number to all these guys so they can see if they want to chime in. But it's late. I'm gonna go home already. I am home, but let's see if we can move fast on this one. Uh, but before Mike gets back, well, how come you're not bashing EJ like you're bashing me? At least Derek Lively, like you mentioned before, that's a Tyson Chandler clone right there. It's the
Yeah.
same reason I never give up on Jackson Hayes. I still believe, damn it. But yeah, Lively blocks, rebounds, defensive presence, as opposed to the other guys, the perimeter players who are just they're just gonna watch Aaron Nemhard dribble the ball 20 times and maybe they'll get a touch of the ball. Odds are they're not.
Mhm.
And then they got to go play defense. Go play defense. Jabari Smith going to Aaron's team. That might be the most interesting pick she's made that the Autobot has made for her in all the draft. Speaking of Walker Kessler, there you are. Nice batch of back-to-back centers there. Why not
Yeah.
Okongwu over Kessler? Or yeah, why did you pick Kessler over Okongwu there?
I I don't know. I just like Kessler's game overall, whether it's going to be in Utah or if he's going to get moved. I don't know because I don't know. Again, Utah's I don't understand. I don't know. Ainge is starting to he became Mormon. He's on something out there. I don't know what's going on.
I thought he was Mormon. He went to BYU, didn't he?
Moron, Mormon. I don't know.
Oh my God, man. You're lucky Angel's not here, man. You're lucky Angel Morales is not here. He would put you in your place, man. How dare you? That Tumani come see Primo. I thought maybe there's a chance I can get Tumani Kamara. No, Primo says, You messed up. You should have gotten him in the previous round. PJ Washington going to Bob's team, which is typical Bob pick here, playing it safe. He's very calculated with his risk, and PJ Washington is as safe of a pick you can make. But yeah, I think with Cooper Flag in tow, I think PJ Washington might be relegated to 3-point specialist. We'll see if I'm wrong or not. But
Yeah.
so I mean, Kamara's gone, Okongwu's gone, even Kessler's gone, Jabari Smith is gone. Who does that leave me with? Well, now's the time to make these speculative picks. VJ Edgecombe, and the only reason I got him was because number one, he's a rookie. Just got drafted in this past year's draft. I forgot where though. Second, no, third, maybe fourth pick overall. I don't remember.
Hmm.
Was it? I don't know. But you look at the 76ers. You look at the 76ers, and there's a really good chance that VJ might end up getting some run early on in the game, in the season, because all he has to, well, and he's already listed as a small forward here with the
Yeah,
76, starting small forward over Kelly Oubre. And then they're talking about Quentin Grimes, but if let's put it this way, if Joel Embiid goes down again, what is their motivation to play veteran players or run plays for veteran players like Quentin Grimes and Paul George? Well, I guess Paul George by default, but I don't know. I feel like there's enough room for VJ to get a lot more than the 11 points he's projected to get there. Yes, you see there.
yeah. No,
So
I like him a lot. He was on my list of guys to look at this point of the draft.
yeah,
Again, George and Embiid are going to be hurt at some point. It's only a matter of when.
yeah,
Uh,
and
so I think that's a very good upside pick. He's got a lot of talent. I saw him in the preseason a couple times. He looked great.
yeah, and I like Dylan Harper too. Maybe I should have just gone back to back rookie picks, but that's a recipe for disaster. And I did
Yeah.
have Dylan Harper ranked higher, but the thing I don't like about Dylan Harper is what the hell are the Spurs doing, man? They have like six players that,
And that was why the same reason there. I like Edgecombe better than Harper for that exact reason. It's again opportunity wise, you got to kind of look at.
yeah. And not to say that Harper's not going to be given those opportunities. I mean, second pick overall, you got to give him those opportunities. But where? You got De'Aaron Fox, you got Stephon Castle. So what? You're going to start benching Stephon
Well,
Castle
exactly.
because,
That's the whole point. He's got two basically established guys. He's not
yeah,
going to get the minutes that you expect there. And
yeah,
you're talking about, De'Aaron Fox is not someone who's out a lot,
mhm.
for the most part.
Except for last
Castle's
year,
on the rise last year, proved himself minutes wise.
Vassell. Although they're saying that Devin
Vassell is there.
Well, they're
You
saying that
know,
Devin Vassal's production might go down because of all those guys that they bring, like De'Aaron Fox,
right.
and now you got to give Harrison Barnes his touches. And when are you going to play Jeremy Sochan? And what about Keldon Johnson? Are we just going to forget about him? And the answer is yeah, they forgot about him last year. It doesn't matter though because everything goes through Wembanyama.
I
So,
mean, they forgot about him like 2 years ago, honestly. But
hey man, don't get me started. All right, moving on to the 10th round. We're getting there, man. We're getting there little by little. Jonathan Kuminga. Uh, So yeah, qualifies at center, got signed long term, plays on a interesting Warriors team. Maybe this is the year that he finally gets the minutes and the run that he's looking for because that's been his number one complaint, right? That when am I gonna play? This team sucks. They don't let me play, and there's always conflict. And then they give him a bag of money to shut up, and it looks like he's the backup small forward to Jimmy Butler. But
I mean, they paid him, so we'll see.
yeah, they have to play him, right? I mean, Al Horford's there, but come on, Al Horford is there. Why?
I
Al
mean,
Horford's
you got to figure he's going to play at the three and at the four.
well, Al Horford or Jonathan Kuminga?
No, Kaminga, I'm saying.
Well, he qualifies as center for a reason. If they go small, Al Horford, I mean, there's no way on God's green earth Al Horford can play a full game. He's probably going to be there for 10 minutes a game, and then you bring in Kuminga off the
Didn't they
bench
give him
and
like a 3 year deal or something?
ah,
It's like he went
God.
from retirement to a 3 year deal. I don't understand
He
how that
went
worked
from
out.
champion to retirement center with the Warriors. Speaking of Bobby Portis, there he is. Good pick by Alex. I like it. There's Cam Whitmore going to Primo's team. Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs. Again, that's another player. I like the idea of Jalen Suggs, but in reality, it doesn't work out. Uh, and then, like you mentioned before, with the Magic, who, what is it? I think Suggs' main role is just bring the ball up the court, set up
Just
the
get out of the way.
offense, and get out of the way because Banchero needs to touch,
Yeah.
uh, Wagner needs to touches, and then Desmond Bane needs to shoot his threes. So, unless you see it differently about Suggs, I don't
No,
know.
not at all. Like I said, yeah. Like again, you now you're down to like the fourth, fifth option.
Yeah, former lottery pick too. So, what was it all for? Yeah. And then Anthony Black is lurking, right? I
Right.
think it's still on the team, or did he get traded? I don't even know anymore.
I don't know. That would
Man,
be
I'm counting on you, man. I'm
honestly.
counting on you.
I kind of forgot about Black until you mentioned him right now.
Oh my God, Anthony Black, according to ESPN, third point guard on the team behind Tyus Jones now.
Yeah.
Remember, Anthony Black's claim to fame is that he's a
Oh,
really
that's
good
right. They picked up
defender.
Tyus Jones too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, well, they need to replace Cole Anthony. That's why Cole Anthony went to the Bucks, I think. Well, I mean, obviously, the Magic like their point guards a little bit bigger and with a little bit more wingspan. Suggs does average 1.43 steals per game. Anthony Black is supposed to be a defensive monster
Right.
at
So I
point
mean, Suggs
guard.
and Black are both very good defenders.
Yeah.
But for our purposes, that doesn't really
No, no, except that you get some cheap steals. But yeah,
point guard production.
Jalen Suggs as a point guard is projected to average 2.8 assists per game.
Right. That's yeah.
Yeah, that's not gonna work for me, man. I'm sorry. Well, good luck to Angel on that one. Christian Braun, I think I want to believe in a guy like Christian Braun. It just seems like he's more of a real life player than a fantasy player. Same thing with Dante DiVincenzo, although I think DiVincenzo can actually produce a little bit more than a Christian Braun. I'm looking at Christian Braun right now, 10 points projected, and that pretty much is it. That's about right. There's your Jordan Clarkson pick. You got him. I actually like that pick because lesser time for the starters means more time for Jordan Clarkson to pick apart the second unit.
Yeah. I mean, he's there to shoot.
Shoot, and I think he could do more than just shoot. I think he could drive and
Yeah,
penetrate and
no, he's a very good offensive player. He's
yeah,
gonna, he should get some assists.
yeah,
He's gonna get some production if I need to plug somebody in some weeks.
yeah. That's a really good pick, man. I can't believe I skipped this one. I don't know what I fell asleep at the wheel, I guess. No, well, I had to get VJ Edgecombe and Jonathan Kuminga apparently. Brandon Podziemski. I
Honestly,
like.
who I wanted in this round was Whitmore.
Oh,
I
okay,
was
yeah,
kind of
but
targeting Whitmore when he fell off. It was kind of like, all right, where else do I go? So then I decided to go to Clarkson.
man, Primo, man, Timani Kamara and Cam Whitmore back to back. Jeez, this is why he's gonna win the
Yeah.
champ. He's gonna win this year, bro. He's gonna win. It's like, geez, it's like it never fails with that guy. Every time I bring him in, he just wins championships. Brendan Podziemski, I like the idea of Brendan Podziemski, but yeah, lack of playing time, lack of opportunity with the Warriors. He needs for someone to get hurt, and let's face it, he lacks a little bit of physical attributes to be an explosive guy. The only reason he can maybe explode for 50 fantasy points every once in a while. He's a very crafty guy, man. He's a really crafty player. He's like the Kyle Hendricks of basketball over here. So
He just feels like one of those, the tweener guard, great
uh,
off the bench. He could be like a really good bench.
yeah, yeah,
He could play at the
exactly.
one and the two.
Uh,
The old bad boys, the microwaves. There you go.
yeah, yeah. Dennis, Vinny Johnson. Sorry.
Benny Johnson.
Oh, you're showing your age there, Felipe. Am I not supposed to know about the bad boys now? I'll be honest. For a long time, I did confuse Vinny Johnson with Dennis Johnson and sometimes Cedric Maxwell,
Cedric, oh my gosh.
and then the
Mad
singer,
Max.
and then the singer Maxwell.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, Obi Toppin, like again, Mike, what are you doing, man? That's like the seventh pacer you selected in this draft. This is why you're picking in the top five every pick every year in the draft and not playing for championships. This is ridiculous, man. Stop doing that. Am I too harsh here, James? Am I too harsh?
I mean, at this point in the draft, a lot of guys will draft guys that they think are going to have a bigger role on their team because of their inside information. I've noticed in a lot of leagues.
It's the inside
I don't
wrong
know who
information.
I don't know who they're planning on playing at center.
Uh,
Uh,
I'll tell you in a
you
little
know,
bit because
Reports are Isaiah Jackson
yeah,
might play, but he's been hurt and inconsistent. They like to go small ball a lot.
so Pascal can play center, and then that means
Pascal can play. They did the Pascal Obi Toppin thing a lot last year when Turner was out.
they also got
Uh,
James Wiseman, the former first. Was he the first pick overall one time, or was he
uh,
second pick overall with the
I don't
Warriors? I,
know.
I forget.
It's a blur.
Yeah,
He might limp out on the court at some point and limp back off.
by the way, you mentioned Isaiah Jackson, yes, and that's a guy that eventually Mike would draft in this draft.
So he's
If I,
just covering that center position for the Pacers to make sure
yeah,
he's got all the options.
and I'm surprised he didn't select James Wiseman too, former second pick overall. I just checked. Yeah,
I'm
if
sure
I
he's at the
remember.
top. He's at the top of the waiver list.
Yeah, the top of the garbage heap there. Yeah, there he is, Isaiah Jackson. That's an auto pick. Yeah, conveniently auto picked right there in the next round. Let's see. Well, I wanted to mention something else,
Yeah,
but yeah,
there's your Keontae George.
yeah, I'm about to go. But Jared McCain, interesting pick there. I just want to point that out by Jacob. Interesting pick there. Round 11. Yeah, Kansas George. We talked about the Jazz situation. It's a mess, but EJ's gonna go with it. I love this pick of Eves Misi in the 11th round by Jacob. That is pretty damn good. Because I was thinking about getting him too in this round. Maybe that's my problem, man. I think I want players, and I'm thinking I can draft them around too late, and that's just not gonna be a possibility.
Yeah,
Maybe last year I could have gotten away with it, but I think the league picked up their game this year a little bit. 'Cause yeah, players that I was easily
yeah.
able to get last year.
I could say the same. There's a lot of guys who I thought I could get later that ended up getting picked before they got
Okay,
back to me. I was very surprised about.
okay, so it's not
Clearly,
just me.
clearly,
Okay.
people to me, yes, they did a lot more homework this year.
Well, Eves now is listed as a starting center. At one point, he was a backup center to I don't even know who, Kevon Looney maybe, Derek Queen, which I'm surprised he's not referred to as Dairy Queen, especially on a team with Zion Williamson.
You know,
I'm just saying.
Zion's more like the big man kind of guy.
And obviously, I know that this is supposed to be an auto pick according to this thing, but come on, I think Mike queued this up
Oh, I'm sure that was in his queue. Yeah.
top of the queue when Wendell Carter Jr. is still in the available in drafts. I mean, come on, man. I know you want to be a homer pick, but come on. In my opinion, Wendell Carter should be better than Isaiah Jackson even next year. I'm not sure. Okay, you got who's Igor Demon? You got me, man. You finally got me. I don't know who Igor Demon is.
He's one of the Nets guys they're talking about that he's probably gonna be the starting point guard.
Well, like the Marko Jukic of basketball players, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, like I said, again, at this point of the draft, looking for upside and opportunity.
All right, let me
You know,
see. Ah, there he is.
some of much like we were talking about Washington, Brooklyn has a bunch of young guys, and someone's gonna stand out.
Yeah, but they're not as interesting. And then everything's going through Michael Porter anyway, so what difference does it make?
Oh, at what point in the season does Michael Porter get traded? There's no point to Michael Porter on that team.
You know what? He might not get traded. Teams might just look at what he's done and they'll be like, "Nah, we're good, thanks. We're gonna get old
There's
ass."
gonna be some contender who needs a shooter, and
But
that's the one thing he can do.
a shooter, Michael Porter's not a shooter. He's a chucker. Like the ball goes to him, and that's it. You're never seeing the ball ever again,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
I'm telling you, there's always that team that thinks,
listen, if it worked for Denver because of Jokic, right? So that's if he goes to Milwaukee, that's Giannis is gonna have a cow over there. He's gonna have a meltdown over there. Uh, but yeah, but Igor Demon, eighth pick overall this year's draft. You're right.
Mhm.
Santi Aldama, 16 points. I don't know why. Why don't they want Santi Aldama, man? Like, why don't they want him?
Uh, you know, uh, who else is playing there?
I'm gonna let you know.
It's
So
him and Jaren Jackson, really. I mean,
Santi Aldama is listed as a starting center according to ESPN. Yes, and
yeah,
Jackson in the power forward. You're right.
right. I don't understand. I don't get this projection for him.
Yeah,
Uh, he,
but I'm sorry to cut you off, but some other publications do have Aldama as once again coming off the bench.
hmm
Maybe it's lack of guaranteed playing time, and but
Maybe.
I'm trying to figure out
Yeah.
well who else would play at those positions then. I mean they got nobody like
I don't think they have another center.
Landale. I don't even know who the hell that guy is. Nice name though, Jock Landale.
hmm
But I mean let me see what's his story here. Jock Landale.
And
Uh,
did they draft him last?
fourth season in the NBA. He already looks like he's 43 years old, bro.
Yeah.
Jock Landale. Okay, mine, whatever. But Aldama, man, I've had Aldama the last couple of years, and I like his production in this format, is what I'm trying to say. And he puts up big numbers too, rebounds, can score, can shoot,
Yeah.
does a little bit of everything. And I mean, yeah, I don't understand that, but that might be my favorite pick from Tyler so far. There's Bilal Coulibaly, there's Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Filipowski, back-to-back Jazz players. Oh, and then Alex takes away Scoot Henderson. I thought I was gonna get him back, man. I thought I was gonna get him back, so instead I had to settle for Dick.
Yeah,
Grady Dick, that is.
that sounds like an interesting take there, but okay.
I'm not in
And
love with this one. Go ahead.
if you haven't heard, over the
Yeah,
offseason,
yeah.
Dick grew 2 inches.
Oh,
Might have been medication, I'm not sure, but that's the rumor.
I'm trying to have a kid friendly show here, man. Family friendly. Anyway, I don't know, man. I didn't like any other player available here, and I just all right. Well, Dick's available, so I hear he has a good sporting goods store.
Mm,
Oh man, why are you laughing at your own jokes, Felipe? Shut up.
there,
That's why. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
there is a shopping center down here in Florida where the awning sign on the outside, when you pull up, they have both a Dick's Sporting Goods and a BJ's.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also,
Everyone stops and takes pictures of this thing.
like pictures of Grady Dick and Anthony Black together,
Yeah.
holding up their jerseys like that. Okay. Well, Grady is supposed to be probably the number one guy off the bench for the backcourt players on Toronto,
Hmm.
and he's shown some ability to be a scoring option in the NBA. So that's a thing, right? I mean, there's otherwise he's just an injury
Theoretically, he
away.
could be their sixth man. How productive he is, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, that's what I'm banking on. And Nikola Jovic, not to be confused with Nikola Jokic, I swear every damn year I draft this Nikola Jovic guy.
Yeah.
Every goddamn year I do this to myself, and I can't help myself. But yeah, I double check Miami Heat, ESPN. There he is, Nikola Jovic, starting power forward.
No.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go through that well again, man. I'm gonna go grab my pail and go get some go through the Nikola Jovic well over again, or whatever that saying goes. I'm and you know he puts up these big ginormous numbers in the preseason, and all I
You
can
know who
think
the
of
starting power forward on Miami is, right?
it says it's Nikola Jovic. But
Bam
that
Adebayo.
yeah, and then Khalil Ware goes to the center, but
Uh-huh.
Jovic qualifies at center too. Maybe he'll play some center. I don't know. But this is the thinnest the Heat have ever been. And there's a lot of it just seems like this is the opportunity that Jovic has been waiting for all his life since being on the Heat. But the other thing I love about him is that he puts up like the biggest numbers in the preseason, and you can't help but think, oh man, if he could
Right, when they're resting the guys who are actually going to play.
I don't care. I turn into Jerry Krause with my 2 pennies, like I'm pinching them like, oh my God. Anyway, Keegan
Yeah.
Murray.
Keegan
Uh
Murray.
Bob going back to back safe picks and 3 point specialist. I want to like Keegan Murray. I mean, the Kings like him enough to extend him to that big deal. He just got that big bag.
Yeah, I saw that deal this week. I was like, okay.
But Klay Thompson and Keegan Murray in a categories league makes a lot more sense. In this
Yes.
format, I'm gonna
Right.
question it a little bit. So okay, you see it my way too. Okay.
I, again, like it took me a couple of seasons to kind of transition to the way that the scoring works here. As I had always played categories before this league,
Yeah.
so it's definitely a different takes for
Uh,
what you're looking for.
Might as well ask you because when we first started, this was a very I mean, people were like, "Can we just switch to a categories normal league, or at least can we make the points accumulative?" And I was adamant, like, hell no, man. I don't want to do that. I didn't pay all this money for CVS. Just, yeah, dude, the first season, I ate the cost for the website just to
Mhm.
prove, the first one's free. The next one, you guys gotta help me pay for it. But I wanted to introduce the guys to this format.
Yeah,
And
no, like I said, it was a bit of an adjustment. I had never done it before, so I know that first year when I drafted, I was kind of drafting the way that I normally would, and then I realized after that first year, I was like, okay, so that was completely wrong.
so
Uh,
pros and cons about this format, bro. Again, just to remind the people, this is fantasy point per average weekly league, right? So if a guy
right,
scores, if a player has 4 games and he scores 25 points in every game, you're not getting 100 points for your score. You're getting 25 points because 100 divided by 4 equals 25.
right.
That's your score for the week for your player. So pros and cons about this format that as far as you've seen now that you've had like a couple years on your belt.
I mean, I like it. You can go with certain players that you wouldn't pick in the categories leagues. Okay, again, someone like Michael Porter. Okay,
You always picking on
he's
him, man.
not in a categories league. There's no point to drafting him. What is he giving you?
Doesn't he give you like good shooting percentages at least? I'm
Sometimes,
asking. I don't know. I'm asking. I don't play categories leagues.
sometimes he would, but other than the points, he's not giving you anything.
He's giving you the
You,
one assist per game.
one assist per week, and it was a mistake.
It was an accident. Like, he wanted the
The
ball back.
ball fell through his hands and landed in somebody else's hands, and they got an assist.
He got an assist just for
They,
touching the
they called it
ball.
a tip pass.
The, and when he's next to Grady Dick, is a different kind of tip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like I said, the average thing kind of, it works out, I mean, because sometimes you have a guy will have in the categories, you have a guy who scores 80 points, and, then the rest of, and he has 80 points that week, and then he accumulates 30 and 30 the next week, you lost that week because one player on the team did, with the average, you still have a shot.
yeah.
Somebody blows up that way. In those categories, you're basically done for the week.
I think Yahoo. I'm not that I'm gonna clamor to switch to Yahoo because I don't like Yahoo, man. Ever since the beginning, I've always hated Yahoo's website for
Yeah.
fantasy. I'm not a fan. Some people swear by it. Some people are like huge fans of Yahoo. But if Yahoo decides that they want to sponsor this show, I'm all for it. I'll be the biggest Yahoo. I'll be the biggest Yahoo. I'll call myself a Yahoo. Yahoo. Hey, listen, man. Apparently, there's a game on Yahoo, similar format, but okay. Say your player has plays 3 games, right? And that first game he scores 30 points, but the next game he scores 55 points. Before he plays his third game of the week, you have to decide if you want to lock in those 55 points for that week or take a chance and see if he can do more than 55 points on the next game. So
Oh,
whatever game, whichever point total you choose for, that
it's a parlay league. You,
I don't
you,
know.
you can cash out of your parlay.
I pretty much, yeah. I heard that you could do that, that on Yahoo. So, but I'm not
No,
clamoring
I
for it.
haven't heard about that. Wow.
Not clamoring for it, but that sounds interesting. Like, yeah, if you got like a guy like I don't know, let's say Tari Eason, right? He
Yeah.
scores 17 points the first game, 19 points in the next game. He has one more game to go. Do you lock in those 19 points? And if you don't, you're stuck with the third game. What if he scores 12 points? Or what if he breaks out and gets 30 points?
Right.
Right. So yeah. Any player that you want to talk about besides Nikola Jovic in this round that kind of caught your eye? Because none of these guys are doing it for me. Maybe Ayo, but what about you?
I mean, upside wise, I guess you got Keyshawn George.
Keyshawn George.
Again, what's Washington doing this year? We don't know.
It could be anything. They could
Um,
even play like Wizards.
Cole Anthony on Milwaukee. I kind of picked him there because again, it's got to be Cole or it's got to be your boy.
Man, it's not gonna be Cole Anthony, man. Stop it. Oh, the dream is dead, man. The dream is dead for Cole Anthony. I lived through it the last couple of years. It's over. It's over, man. I was the biggest Cole Anthony homer that you would ever find, and it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
He's
He
not.
had to get away from Orlando, clearly. So we'll see. I don't know. It's like the island of misfit toys in that backcourt this year. So
I meant to say Ayo Dasonmu. I can't even say his name right at this point. I do like the Ayo Dasonmu pick, but I don't know. He's he's gonna get lost in the shuffle, even with the Bulls team, a depleted Bulls team. He's still kind of like the fourth and fifth, or maybe even sixth and seventh option on that team still.
is Royce O'Neal getting on planes yet, or what are we doing
Man,
here?
I'm not even looking at his direction, man. That's a auto pick anyway. So no, this round sucks, man. Except for Nikola Jovic, obviously, that's the best pick in the draft of the 12th round so far. And I do like the Yayo pick. I'm not gonna be bashing it too much. And even the Chris Paul pick, we'll see how much he has left in his tank, in the tank there. But yeah, I mean, he plays 20 minutes. I can see him getting a healthy amount of points if he gets like 20, maybe 17 minutes. Like he could definitely yeah, 18 points for a bench player of his caliber. That's a good starting base with just enough upside because he's a great ball distributor even at his advanced age. And Chris Paul playing against the second unit. You gotta like it. I gotta commend Jacob for thinking outside the box a little bit there.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, you never know what's gonna happen there. Obviously, Kawhi's gonna be.
Yeah, and then Kawhi goes out, then they
you
might
know,
have to just depend on Chris Paul for more offense.
right.
So yeah, anyway, 13th round. I swear we got two more rounds and then we're done. Let's see. Player. I'll start out with this time. Player. The pick I don't like here. Let's go with Tyrese Halliburton. No, I'm joking. Caris LeVert. What the hell is that? Why, Tyler? Why? And again, I apologize for. I'm trying to be nice to Tyler. This is his first season playing fantasy basketball.
The Vert's on Detroit? I didn't even know the Vert was on Detroit.
I didn't know either. Like, what? That's why I'm like, that's the one that kind of stood out for me. What about you? Who's the pick that you did not like? Well, let's go the opposite with you. What pick did you like in this one?
In this round, let's see.
By the way, LeVert starting shooting guard according to ESPN. That doesn't look right.
That does not look right.
But okay, it's the worldwide leader. I'll take their word for it. Go ahead.
Is the Vert is starting over Ivy?
Jaden Ivey is still listed as out. He's still recovering from injury, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I think it was a knee injury. But come on.
The Ty Jerome pick is kind of interesting.
Hmm.
He parlayed his way into a contract. We'll see if that does anything.
Okay.
Um, Again, Halliburton's the stash.
Oh, there's an update here. I'm sorry to cut you off, but when it rains, it pours, my friend. When it rains, it pours on your boy. This feels like the Luka Doncic years for me at this point. 7 hours ago, the Pistons announced Thursday that Jaden Ivey underwent an arthroscopic procedure to relieve right knee discomfort and will be reevaluated in 4 weeks.
Ooh,
FML.
damn,
Oh, all right. Let me fix my lineup.
that's not good.
God damn, man. This sucks. Jaden Ivey redemption tour on hold for now.
Yeah.
Who do I have? Well, I guess I could start Andrew Wiggins now. So okay. Anyway, go on. You were talking about who now? Ty
Well,
Jerome.
again,
Yes.
when we're talking about players who might end up playing more because of injuries, you've got Grimes, who did really well when all those guys were out last year.
Yeah. Yeah. Who got him? Oh yeah, Tim got him. Yeah. There was a negative outlook on him coming into the season because he's older and they got all these young guys that they might give preference. And Jared McCain's coming back. But you're right. I mean, you can't deny the production from last season for Quentin Grimes. That's for sure.
Yeah, and
Uh,
when you need, when you need defenders, he's a really, really good defender. And
I-
the fact that he can shoot, we'll see what happens there with, like I said, injuries and playing time. And I think the more in it Philadelphia is, the more Grimes would probably play over a rookie who isn't going to defend.
Yeah, unfortunately, Philadelphia's a big mess. By the way, I just got to point out, getting it ready on the other screen here. But every time you guys would talk about Quentin Grimes when he was on the Knicks, right? Because he used to play for the Knicks, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Every time you guys would talk about, his defense, I had a good picture to show. Oh, well, I guess I'll do this one. I would always imagine because you guys were talking, he's the clamps, and I would always think about this character. Remember from Futurama? I'm gonna
Yeah.
give you the clamps. So yeah, that's what I think about when you guys were talking about Quentin Grimes. And now I can't unsee it. Kind of even looks like Quentin Grimes a little bit, right?
That's
Sure.
funny.
We talked about the Wizards having a bunch of young players. I finally got mine, Trey Johnson. I don't know what to expect from him, but he's young,
Yeah.
rich, and he's dangerous, like Chris Cross's sophomore album, right? Remember? Did you ever listen to that Chris Cross album? Not
Unfortunately.
you did?
Yeah, I mean, we had Jump, and then after that, it was all downhill.
No, they released Young, Rich, and Dangerous.
No,
That's what I'm asking. Did you listen to that one?
I don't think so.
Did anybody? Young, Rich, and Dangerous singles. Like what songs came out of that one? Some Cut Up. Yeah, I don't know that song. When the Homies Show Up. That's another song. Oh, Tonight's the Night. Yeah, Tonight's the Night. Or am I thinking about Crucial Conflict? Anyway, let's move on. Money, Power, and Fame. Come on, man. Young, Rich, and Dangerous. No? All right, whatever. Tyrese Halliburton. So, because this is what we wanted Tyler to do, not in the seventh round, but in the 13th round.
Absolutely.
And that's it. I mean, a bunch of these. I mean, these other good players are just. I mean, Rui Hachimura might still be a thing, but he's done in that with the Lakers in terms of being the productive player that he could be. right?
Yeah,
Because there's
I
just
don't see that
way
at all.
too many mouths to feed. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't see that at all. I mean, you've got LeBron, you've got Doncic, obviously your focal points.
Lou Dort and Chris Middleton are just horrible auto picks. They're horrible live action picks too, by the way. Don't like the Levert pick. Quinn Grimes might be interesting. You mentioned Ty Jerome already. Kelly Oubre is already relegated to the bench. There's just too many guys that play Kelly Oubre who are younger on that team, including Jared McCain. I think he was selected in one of the previous rounds. Let's get to the end. Finally. All right, so I coupled my Trey Johnson pick with Mo Wagner. So I'm hoping that the last name will mean something. Hopefully. He does qualify at center. So there's Dairy Queen Bob picking Derek Queen at center as well. Trey Jones. Who? Trey Jones. Not Tyus Jones. Trey Jones. Going to Alex's team. Sam Hauser at this point. I think Primo was just milking it at the end and let the auto draft select for him. And it just keeps on going there. Just every damn draft, KCP, Contavious Caldwell Pope, finds his way in a fantasy team, despite the fact that I remember that. Well, I don't know if you were there for that, but I went on a infamous rant in the chat when somebody picked KCP. Like, why would you pick KCP? Why? He's so useless. He's nothing. And then
Yeah,
people were like, I think you're being a little bit too rough, man. Who cares? It's the 14th round. Yeah, but it's so relative. This is a terrible pick, no matter if it's the first, second, third, or 17th round. It's a terrible pick. It was a terrible pick back then. It's an even worse pick now because he's older now. Anyway, who's this Ryan Kalkbrenner? Kalkbrenner.
he's got a lot of upside. They're talking about he might even be their starter.
Okay.
And at this, like I said, at this point,
Yeah, because he's averaging. His projection is way low, 7.
yeah. I mean, again, we talked about rookie projections.
Yeah, they're very harsh with those rookies. Even Cooper Flag got well,
It's funny because when you look at the reports, they're talking about him possibly being the starting center. He's
yeah.
got a really good offensive game. He rebounds, he blocks shots, and then they do a projection of 7 points.
Second
Uh,
round pick out of Cretin, by the way. Go ahead.
I was like, make it make sense.
7 feet, 256 pounds. Okay. Well, they also got this guy named Musa Diabate.
Hmm.
And what's so special about him? When did he get drafted? 2022 second round pick, 43rd overall, went to Michigan. A little bit smaller, to say the least. So we'll see if size matters in Charlotte. Uh, Anybody else you want to talk about in this last round? I mean, this is just a blur. I mean, Damian Lillard going, bro, why? Anyway,
Well, honestly, I had planned on taking Jalen Wells
yeah.
and Tingus, and I told him to fuck off in the chat. I said, God damn it, man. So then I went to my other rookie in the big man, but I had actually planned on taking Jalen. I was hoping Jalen Wells was going to fall there.
Yeah, Jalen Wells,
I
projected
really
starting
liked him.
small forward for the Grizzlies. Go ahead.
Hmm. I really liked him, his projections, his talent wise, but we'll see.
And correction, 6'8", 206 forward out of Washington State. Second round pick in last year's draft, not this year.
Hmm.
Last year's. You said he was a rookie. That's why
Oh,
I'm
sorry,
pointing
yeah.
it out. 10 points a game. That's pretty damn good. In 25 minutes. Okay. Okay. That might
Someone's got to
be.
pick up that Desmond Bain slot.
Yeah, why not him? He's shown that he could play in this league a little bit.
Hmm.
Okay. All righty then. 25. He actually got 25 minutes last year. I didn't even realize that. Sounds like a guy I would have snatched up if I would have known he existed, but okay. And of course, I cannot let Aaron get away with this. Chris Boucher. Why? Because he's a former Raptor. But it's an autopilot pick. The auto did this for me. No, you come on, Aaron. Give yourself a little credit. You set it up for this to be a thing.
Yeah, she had the queue with all the ex-Raptor players in there,
Or any Canadian connection,
any,
any
Canadian Raptors.
a Drake connection. He was on a Drake video one time. Kendrick just opened his mouth.
There's your
Anyway,
boy, by the way, Davion Mitchell.
off night.
Off night.
Off night, just like me. I'm off my night tonight.
And Damian Lillard.
Oh, yeah. So all the Achilles guys got drafted. I can't believe this. Am I missing someone who got hurt last year severely from an Achilles? I'm trying to think.
I think they covered him pretty well.
Wow. Final thoughts on this draft. I guess we can showcase the keepers one more time. Any last impressions on the upcoming season? You get the final word there, my friend. Go ahead.
Again, it's hard not to think that Jokic's going to be in this thing at the end for us again.
In terms of the MVP award or
Yeah, in terms
just,
of the MVP, in terms of the best fantasy player, still,
mm,
the only one here who could I think move into that top group would be Victor.
yeah,
Wembanyama. I mean, he looks like he's gained some muscle, and supposedly he's grown, which is
yeah.
crazy.
Oh, yeah, that's insane. And I think the issue here is that I didn't think that me add including offensive rebounds and giving I forgot how many points are offensive rebounds worth. Is it like a quarter of a point, a half a
Yeah, a
point?
quarter of a point.
I didn't think that was going to be that big of a difference, but yeah, we might never see a guard be the leading scorer in this format ever again, if at all. Because originally, when we set up the league the first time around 20 years ago, we did not include offensive rebounds. I did it just because I figured, well, they say it's a guards league nowadays. It's a point guard league, right? So the point guards have the unfair advantage because they can score, they get the ball in their hands all the time, and they assists are worth 2 points each, right?
Hmm.
So okay, how do I combat that? How do I counter that? Oh, give the big men some other way to score by awarding,
I like the offensive rebound thing, honestly.
yeah. Well,
I've had it even in categories leagues because it's a skill.
no, you're
And
right. Yeah, it's a hustle thing.
I
I
mean, there's a
got
lot of guys that rebound, but they don't offensive rebound.
right, right. But it kind of to me it just makes it feel like we're never gonna see a guard,
I
a
mean, you've got two
qualifying
guards in our
guard.
top five.
Well, but are they ever going to lead the league in fantasy points per game? Is my question. Because ever since
Um,
this league, it's always been either a guy who qualifies
I
at
mean, Luca
center.
might.
Nah, he got close, but he never got. He was always top three, top two. He never. I don't think he ever got number one because Jokic or Giannis were always there.
No, I'm saying, I said he's, to me, he's more of a possibility.
No, not with the Lakers. If he was like, because he still has to share the ball with LeBron. I know he's the primary guy now, and LeBron's on his last legs, so to speak. But yeah, because still got LeBron. Um, shoot, I'm blanking on who the other players are on that team, but I know they're pretty loaded this year. So no excuses for LeBron James not winning a championship, right? Hold on, give me a second while I load up. Okay, what else you got? Austin Reeves, Austin Reeves has to get some touches. And then I was gonna say DeAndre Ayton, but DeAndre Ayton, he's gonna have to figure out a way to average 10 points because that's what he does. So to your point, that should equal assists. So maybe Luca,
Yeah, I'm saying there's a lot of
yeah.
assists to be had.
There you
Luca's also gonna get to get some more open shots when LeBron is doing his thing.
Right, right. I guess you talked me into it, but still, I mean, it's just the fact that he had all the usage he can handle in the Dallas Mavericks, and the best he could do was fall either to second or third place behind
I mean,
two
he's
other
never had
centers.
as good. I don't think he's ever had as good a supporting cast.
No, no, you're right about that. You're right about that. But there's something to be said about being the high usage player on your own team, and you're scoring all the points, you're getting all the assists, you're the entire offense. And my point is,
It can be a pro and a con because
yeah.
you can be tired.
He definitely looked tired a lot, and he was always hurt too.
You
And
know,
suddenly he goes to the Lakers, he loses a baby fat, and now he's the most durable guy on earth. Uh, Aside from that, so that's the top five established with Victor Wembanyama uh, holding the fifth spot. Do you see anybody else, as I'm highlighting these names that you see here, that have a chance to be top five, top four when it's all said and done at the end of the season?
this year,
Yeah,
uh, your boy Cade.
yeah,
If he stays healthy enough, I mean, again, he's like a triple double type of guy.
hell yeah.
There's him, and the only other one I would say would probably be Edwards if he ever,
Mm. And
because
James Harden was there at one point, but he's a year older now.
yeah,
Yeah, I think his best days are.
Harden's more going down than up, in my opinion.
It's it's a slow drop. It's a
To me, if it's
gradual drop.
if you're looking at declining guys here on this list, you've got obviously Anthony Davis.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. That's it. He's never gonna be on top
Uh,
five.
Harden is seemingly declining.
Yeah. And it's a gradual decline. It's not a full-blown decline. It's not a complete fall off, but it's just natural aging and, Clippers. It's not the same offense that he was running in Houston, obviously. And look at,
No, I mean, again, it's a he's not volume shooting as much anymore. He's and again he's become more of a passer.
yeah.
They took away some of his 9,000 free throws a game by actually not letting him lean into everybody and have that call.
You heard of lean back? Lean
Yeah,
back. This is lean in.
they
Lean
they
in.
removed they removed his beard powers.
And then Kawhi's there, so he's gonna have to give up some of that usage to Kawhi. Brad Beal, for as much as we make fun of him, still a guy that you gotta give touches to and let him shoot the rock a little bit. I like your
Mhm.
Cade Cunningham prediction because he's on my team for sure. Trey Young, I think this is one of those where size matters, and I mean, he could be like Steph Curry, but I don't think Steph Curry ever averaged more than
He
50
makes
fantasy points
Steph
a
Curry
game.
look sturdy.
Sturdy enough? What?
So he makes Steph Curry look sturdy.
Wow. That's saying a lot too. Donovan Mitchell at one point had a chance to be a top five player in this format, but I think he reached his limit a long time ago, and what he is okay. That's fine. Maybe Domantas Sabonis, but with all those veteran players on that team, no way. Devin Booker, if he hasn't done it by now, if he can't do it this year, he's never going to be a top five player in this format.
Yeah, I don't see it.
And the and it's for the simple
He-
fact that he's not a facility. He's
I
not a
feel
ball
like I feel
distributor.
like I feel like Booker is Robin. He's not Batman.
No, that's no, that's because Booker's
He, he,
definitely a
he
guy you could build a franchise around in real life too, I think.
I don't know. I don't. He doesn't have to put it in old man's term. He doesn't have the eye of the tiger.
Well,
There's that thing that like when you talk about the older, the guys,
uh-huh,
that killer instincts.
uh-huh.
I don't see it when he plays.
Ah,
Like Anthony Edwards is a little crazy, but he's got that little Kobe Michael thing in him where he wants to win.
yeah, those intangibles, but I don't.
That's what he's missing. I don't see it.
It's a little okay. All right. I mean, I'll give it to you. He has
I mean, I'd
never.
love to
You're
be
right.
wrong because I like him as a player, but
He's never
I,
proven. Yeah, you're right. I don't think he's ever proven that he could or felt the need that he can or should.
Mhm.
But on
Like look at Shy.
raw, yeah,
Look at Shy.
yeah. I
You
do.
you see it. He wants the moment.
Yeah.
You know.
Eh, Well, I'll give Devin Booker the benefit of the doubt because he did have. I mean, before when he went to the championship and lost to the what team did they lose to when they went to the NBA Finals?
Milwaukee?
Oh, that's right. You're right. Yes, I was going to guess Toronto, but no, I think that was the year
I think
before.
it was Milwaukee. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Anyway, but there was Chris Paul there, right? So we'll give him
hmm
the benefit of the doubt, right? And then when with this failed big three with Brad Beal and Kevin Durant, well, Kevin Durant's the guy. For better or for worse, yes, Devin Booker's a franchise player, but Kevin Durant's that guy. For better or for worse, whether people want to admit to it or not, Kevin Durant is
But
the
again,
guy.
and see that year to me hurt him because Booker is not a point guard.
No, no,
And
but
and bringing in and when they made that Beal trade, I said that was a mistake. And people
well,
were like, oh,
remember,
it's gonna be great. And I'm like, no.
no, I didn't like that. But remember, they were talking about making Brad Beal a point guard, and I just started
Yeah,
laughing. Like, that's impossible.
that would mean he would have to understand how to pass the ball.
But what I will say about Devin Booker, he has a more of a skill set to be the main floor general by default than Brad Beal ever did. And
Absolutely.
and that would be the only way Devin Booker becomes a top five player in this format because now he's getting more assists and he's not
Like,
just
see, but the thing
looking to
is, like,
score
he's a good
first.
passer, but he's not a point guard. Like, he's a good passer for a shooting guard, but he
Yeah,
doesn't have that vision.
right.
Like, he
Yeah.
makes the obvious good pass. He's a good basketball player, but he does not have that court vision.
Yeah, and but again, that is the only way he's ever going to be a top five player.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's going to be plateauing at 43, 44 point, which is pretty good. But it's like I told Jacob, yeah, but the point is you got to find players that over exceed expectations and their projections. And Devin Booker, he'll always just hover around those that 40 point mark, but is he a guy that you say, oh, Booker can get 50 fantasy points in this league format? I don't, maybe every once in a while he can, but until he proves, like you mentioned, that he could showcase some point guard skills, it doesn't seem like it's ever going to happen. John Moran has a better chance of letting it happen, but I think he might
Yes,
have missed his opportunity years ago. And now he's like middle of the pack in terms of the keepers here. But at one point, John Moran, you could have considered him to be
absolutely.
somewhere on the
Yes.
top. So
Again, he's never developed that consistent outside game.
then that might be that's the opposite of Devin Booker, right? He's the
Right.
complete opposite of Devin Booker.
Like,
And, and
Moran's
then,
best, his best offense is, he's got good vision and he can get to the hole, but
yeah.
guys are going to start trying to let him shoot if you can't hit it.
And then we'll finish with what about these bottom eight players on this keeper list? Anybody there that you see will one day be in the conversation with Sija and Cade Cunningham and Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo? Any of these guys do it for you?
From
To
that group, to me, it's Banchero, possibly. I mean, Maxi, because he's the point guard and he can
yeah,
shoot so well, he does
yeah,
everything well already. The question is how much better can he go?
yeah.
Because he can shoot, he can slash, he distributes. So that he's got the skill set.
hmm De'Aaron Fox, sneaky pick to one day consistently average 50 fantasy points per game. Obviously, that hasn't happened yet, or maybe it has in the past, and or he came close. I don't remember. I don't remember the games that he had with the Sacramento Kings, but I remember that there were some monster games every once in a while. But I don't remember if he actually averaged 50 fantasy points a game or if he was ever considered top five.
I don't
Uh,
think he ever averaged 50.
yeah, well,
Like I think he was averaging I think he averaged like 45 one year.
that sounds about right. That sounds about right. I'll have to double check. Who's on the team? Who has him? Oh, Alex. Okay,
Alex has him right now,
let me see if I could pull that up on this other screen. Other than that, Aman Thompson, just by default. I mean, the guy, facilitator, and no more Fred VanVleet. Problem is that Kevin Durant's always lurking now, so that might
yeah.
cut into his production.
Again,
And
Amon's gonna have to develop that outside game basically.
all right, here we
That's
go.
that's the key thing there.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. The the most De'Aaron Fox has ever averaged, according to his profile page on our website, on the website here,
Mhm.
looks like it's 46.18, 46.2
Okay.
points with the Sacramento Kings back in 2023. So he was on
Okay.
an upward trend, but he never averaged 50 fantasy points. So 46, that would put him top 10, yeah, but we're asking for top five. So, and Darren Fox is going to be out for a while because of a hamstring injury, according to CBS Sports. What happened? Oh,
And
okay.
Fox is where now? I know he got moved again.
He's with the Spurs.
He's on the Spurs now. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going
And
to take up Dylan Harper's playing time, apparently.
right, him and Victor. Interesting.
So I know it's kind of moot to figure out, well, especially on this spreadsheet, it's kind of moot to figure out who had the most impressive draft and who has a better team. Have you looked at other rosters yet on other people's teams so far? Is there anybody that kind of stand out? To me, it was Primo, but anybody else's team stand out for you after the draft?
No, not really. It seems pretty even, but again, it's hard to predict this early because there's a lot of guys to me that their predictions are low.
Mm,
Um, you know, based on like last year's number, you're right, it's Primo. He had a really good draft.
yeah, and it's not just based on last year's numbers, but projection wise, and also speculative picks and
Mhm.
taking those high risk players that make you think, like, damn, man, how come I didn't get that guy? What did I do wrong? Like, it's like well, what I can do is maybe really, and then we'll finish with this. Oh, wow, I didn't realize how late it was, but time does fly when we're having fun. Maybe use this or what was it? Was this? Oh, okay. Maybe use this as a guide to maybe let us know what how each team looks like. Although, yeah, this kind of looks way too bunched up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not liking this at all. But definitely M Maple Mambas and Mike, it was Aaron and Mike respectively. Yeah, as you could tell, I was not thrilled with their drafts. A lot of head scratchers for both teams there. Angel, sneaky team. Well, I guess since we're going that way, I guess we'll just go ahead and quickly go one by one here. Alex, he has a chance. He's Alex, knowledgeable guy, but there's something
Um,
lacking. There's
yeah.
something lacking with this team, and I can't quite put my finger on it. But there's lacking. There's a lack
I mean, the
of
biggest
oomph.
weakness here is, I guess, the center position.
Yeah, yeah. Although,
Because he's got Simons and Fox, Cam Thomas. Those are all primary.
yeah,
He's
and
got
then when
Anthony. I get well, is that Anthony Davis? So he has Davis, I guess, as his main big.
yeah, Anthony Davis. He's a Laker fan, so he went with Anthony Davis. So the big man. You're right. Well, Franz Wagner is a big man too. He plays power forward, so I guess that's okay. But yeah, you're right. The centers are kind of lacking compared to his other positions. But they're not too bad either. So it's
No,
not lost cause. I mean, Bobby Portis, you heard me talk glowingly about Bobby Portis. Felipe's team, yeah, you know what? All things considered, he tried to muck it up for himself, but he's a championship contender this year, sure, according to Felipe. No, no, I'll let you, unbiased person here. You tell me what you think about
well, I
Felipe.
mean, you got Shy and Cunningham as great building blocks.
I gotta
The
say,
question, your biggest question is Porter going to pay off there? I mean, Curry, if he's healthy, Curry's going to give you numbers.
yeah,
I've had him the last like few years, and he's great. But the last year or year and a half, he's been hurt a lot.
yeah, yeah.
Again, he's getting up in age. Uh, it's a very un-Felipe-like pick to go with the old guy.
Well, sometimes you gotta make adjustments on the
And
fly,
and
and
we got to see if the Hamburglar doesn't get loose
who
and
Zion?
and start gaining some weight and trip over a Big Mac.
No way, man. There's too much money involved.
He's gonna hit the road and
No way.
go
Too
out on a
much.
binge.
Go into mysterious vans and do
Yeah, I
whatever.
mean, you never know what might happen out there.
There's your team. Oh, I didn't realize you got a bunch of Raptors players too. Are you Aaron?
No,
Anyway, yeah, decent, actually pretty darn good backcourt. It says that you're starting. Are you really starting Jordan Clarkson at forward? But you also got Ace Bailey, so that's a good balance there. Trey Murphy, I like. Paulo Banchero, I think. Uh,
no.
Go ahead.
Oh no, the Clarkson thing. No, he was just kind of they stuck him in there.
Oh, okay.
I haven't even looked at.
Some upside at center. I'll agree with you there. And then you still got DeAndre Ayton. So
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
decent
Center
team.
wise, I'm very happy center wise. I got Aiden, I got Sabonis, I got Ware.
Yeah.
I got Kessler. So
Yeah, you definitely got a lot of you got a lot of depth
I'm
at the
sure I'll start getting some silly trade offers like I do in the football group.
Yeah, I think this all depends if Jordan Clarkson can just be the super sub that should work wonders for your team because it's according to this thing it looks like your forward position's a little lacking at the moment, but it also depends on Ace Bailey if he just rockets with the Jazz and it's all moot at this. My assessment is moot, and then now you're looking like you could be a championship contender.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I'm not expecting him to do a lot early on,
yeah.
even though, like I said, they keep saying he's going to play 30 minutes a night, so we'll see.
Then you get to Aaron's team, who it's a mash unit, right? I think that's the DeJounte Murray. Yep.
Well,
So
yeah, Murray and Irvin are out.
McCollum, well, he's going to be an afterthought. Yeah, lots of veteran players. Not, and I guess you could tell me, well, I like the autopilot pick for me, and they pick wrong. Yeah, but I think I want to give her some credit here. I think she queued up those players too. Like she knew what she was doing.
Hmm.
Are these the results that she wanted? I mean, it had to be. I mean, she got Kawhi Leonard and a bunch of other veterans like Chris Middleton. That sounds like something Aaron would do. Joel Embiid.
I'm telling you, I feel like Leon was somehow involved in this process.
Yeah, maybe Leon made those picks for her and we don't know about it, so I don't know. But at any rate, yeah, I this
This is a very high risk, high reward type of
high
proposition for
risk, high
sure.
reward, but in all likelihood, this looks like a lottery team. Unfortunately, it's just this is like a team that's getting too old and nothing on the horizon here. I mean, who are the keepers for next season? Uh, Joel Embiid, if his knees, if his
For
does he have
next
any
season, for
does he
next
have any
season,
does he have any cartilage left on his kneecaps?
I mean, for next season, it might be Kyrie and DeJounte.
Oh, yeah, okay. Moving on. George Mikan.
You know,
George Mikan,
George Mikan.
Sports machine. As long as Doncic is on the team, he has a chance. But he's not. He didn't do himself any favors by getting all these homer picks. LaMelo Ball, as much as we dislike him, we cannot deny the fact that LaMelo Ball can be very hyper productive in this format.
He can be,
Yeah,
when he's on the court.
when he's on the court. But yeah, played 22 games here, 36 games
He's got to
there.
stop wearing those shoes.
The ball, the air of balls on your feet shoes, right?
Yeah, apparently it injures all the sons.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't get me started. Poor Lonzo, man. He deserved a better fate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of these players, Nesmith and Mathurin, I know that those are homer picks, but they're not good picks, man. I'm sorry. He did get Dyson Daniels, so maybe he'll be moved. He'll be the regular starter. But again, Daniels is a defensive first player, right? And a lot
Hmm.
of his production is just based on the ridiculous amounts of steals and blocks he gets, which that's not sustainable. But I will give him credit that that is a pretty smart pick there. Other than that, he balances out a very exciting pick like Dyson Daniels with very boring picks like Caldwell Pope, Maxi Strus, even Dylan Brooks and Lou Dort who don't do anything. Centers wise, I mean, yeah, this will play anywhere, and Amin Thompson might have a chance to be
Yeah.
a dark horse to be a top 10 player when it's all said and done. So it's not all lost here. Definitely better than Aaron's team. But yeah, you can't shoot yourself in the foot and keep making these homer picks just because, not a fan of the homer picks. Angel, how about you take it over for me? I'm a little tired here. Go ahead.
Angel is which one? Oh,
PR All
PR
Stars, the
All-Stars.
Puerto Rican All Stars. Yeah.
The smallest backcourt ever, Trey Young and Tyrese Maxey. And again, fantasy wise, production wise, he get a lot of points from that situation there. Marketing,
Yeah.
consistency. Ingram, when healthy, is a really good pick. I
Yeah.
like the Denny pick. This team is not looking terrible. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got Julius,
Yeah. Who could qualify at center? I was just gonna say
who
that
can
his
qualify at center.
centers look kind of weak.
I mean, Claxton and
Well,
Potel, they are
although
what they are.
I take
There's
it
not a
back.
lot.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I take it back. I said that a week, but actually, I remember now. Claxton is supposed to average 30 points, and Polo's gonna be close to 30 points, and Julius Randle can put up
I'm
monster
saying
games
that
as we know.
they're consistent guys at the center position. There's no flash there. And
This,
he's got Castle also.
yeah, this might just be the most.
This might be a very sneaky team.
Not just that, but this might be his best team that he's ever selected.
Mhm. Now
Yeah.
that's a very sneaky team there.
Well, I already think that Primo's gonna win, but I'll have you also evaluate Primo's team for us. Go ahead.
Is that Strike Force?
Strictly
Strictly
business.
business. All
Yeah.
right, so he's got Harden, Miller. Who's
Uh,
that? Oh, Brandon Miller?
yeah, Mr. Brickaton. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know what happened here. This is somebody who everybody was very excited about, and
And then he actually play on the court.
and then his shooting wasn't quite what everyone thought was going to be.
Yeah.
I kept hearing Ray Allen, and then I don't know what happened.
Oof. Well, that's the problem. He's trying to be like a Ray Allen from 3 point, but
Obviously, Halliburton is, well, we discussed how early that pick was.
no. Jason Tatum was the early pick.
Oh, Tatum
Halliburton.
was the early pick. I thought it was Halliburton.
No, Halliburton was picking the 12th, 13th, 14th
Okay,
round.
so yeah,
Yeah.
and is that Kobe White?
Kobe White. Yep.
Okay.
Paul.
George,
Yep.
I don't love the George thing. He's got Durant. Yeah, I mean it's a sign. Of course, up front he's got Wembayama, Hartstein, Reed, Holgram. He's got a lot of good bigs.
And I think Kamara's going to be starting more than George even on his own team. Even though he's a Sixers fan, I think he's going to realize that Kamara's going to be the starter, especially if Paul George repeats the disaster that was last season for him. So
Like I
Jalen
said, the
Johnson.
Sixers are such an interesting team because they're like an injury or two away from basically the Sixers finally deciding, we're gonna have to blow this thing up again. Because I mean, how long can you keep doing the same thing over with
Yeah.
Embiid and him getting hurt?
Yeah, and there's some deficiencies on this team, but it's not enough for Primo. I'm sorry, I should say Primo's
Yeah.
where it's a turnoff. Like, no, this is loaded, man. This is lock and loaded for this upcoming
Yeah, I
season.
mean, again, barring some major injuries to guys,
Yeah.
this might be the best team that we're looking at, like we said.
All right. Speaking of strike force, there's EJ's team. Derek White, Jalen Williams, that's his keeper. Isaiah Collier. I didn't realize that's both the Jazz point guards. Okay, so. I guess he's gonna find out which one's starting, which one's benching, and whoever's starting, he's gonna start on his own team. Although he
Right.
does have Shaden Sharp, who I
Even
like.
Sharp.
Matas Buzelas was a little too early, but that's okay. He has the Sanmu, who I guess if Buzelas doesn't work out, he still has the Sanmu, and he'll maybe Ayo can produce what he thinks Buzelas was supposed to do because you remember he picked him pretty early, at least in
Yeah.
our thought process. There's Cooper Flag, and
Star and Sengun are good, very good picks.
And then Lively could be like Tyson Chandler, and Aaron Nemhard was the correct Pacers guard to select in this year's draft. So, yes, this looks like a sixth place team to me, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's depending a lot on what Flag is going to do as a rookie. Also, if Buzelis pans out or not.
And when I say sixth place, I mean it's better than last year. I mean he's the number one pick overall, right? So,
Mhm.
but there's a chance that he's definitely a playoff top half, of the
Yeah,
table there, with a chance to make the playoffs, right? That's what I meant by sixth place team.
yeah,
Um, s-
absolutely.
so not to say that he's completely mid, but yeah, there's a lot to be desired on this team, but it's a good starting point for him. There's a Jacob who did tell me like I'm sick of not winning any championships, so I think he's gonna take it seriously this year, maybe. And when this is the right here, Tyler Hero. When he comes back, I think we're gonna be in trouble, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not he's got Donovan Mitchell, Booker. He's got a lot of good shooting.
He's loaded, man.
Adeyemo, Jackson.
Misi, who I like, Jared Allen. This might be Jacob's best team in a.
Yeah, the team looks very strong. Yeah,
Oh
Booker.
man, it's a solid second place looking team. This looks like a team I would form if I didn't mess up in the 12th spot this year. Bob, did the runner up? Does he have a chance to win this year? Go ahead.
Jordan Poole, Josh Hart,
He lost me at
Austin
Jordan
Reeves.
Poole already, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Poole, Hart, Reeves, Pippen Jr., Harper.
I think
He's
this is
got what?
Michael.
Anthony Edwards was his keeper, obviously.
Yeah, that's Michael Bridges, by the way, not Miles,
Yeah.
but not.
Oh, okay. So Edwards, McHale, Giddy. Okay, we like
Yeah,
Giddy.
yeah,
Everyone seems to like Giddy this year. And of course he's got the Joker, so
yeah. That helps a lot. Yeah,
you know,
yeah. It's it's a solid team.
it's,
Not sure if it's championship contender. There's a lot of
yeah, the pool. I don't know who he's starting at all these positions.
well, Giddy should be the starting point guard. I don't know why it's showing that he's a forward, although
Yeah,
I
no,
guess he
no.
qualifies at forward. Um,
Again, the way that the drafts kind of slotted people in.
yeah, exactly. So,
Like I said, I've got Clarkson in my lineup right now, and he's not probably going to start at this point.
so
Um,
yeah, there's a playoff contender for sure. Is it a championship? I'm not quite sure, especially compared to some of the other teams we saw.
you're gonna see
Not
some,
quite sure.
some things would really have to kind of pan out here.
Tim, the Howlers. Oh, so you got to know this about Tim. He's one of the hardest fantasy leaguers I've ever played against in my entire life. Very, yeah, dangerous in the fantasy baseball. And I think I mentioned that story already where he wasn't even trying in fantasy basketball. EJ and I called him out for it for being lackadaisical. So he responds by winning multiple championships in the first iteration of this league, the first time around. So I learned my lesson not to ruffle the feathers, not to poke the bear too much there.
Hmm.
Although I think he admitted to me that he hasn't played fantasy basketball in a while. But for someone who hasn't played fantasy basketball in a while, I think he picked up right where he left off a little bit. I'm not saying he's going to win the championship or that he's a contender like that. Definitely playoffs. Playoff contender, I should say, right?
Yeah, I mean Morant. I mean, we don't know what he's gonna get from Bane, but he's got Giannis,
Yeah,
got LeBron. I mean, it's a very solid team at this point. He's got Scotty.
yeah. Well, he has the other Thompson twin, which yeah, more of a defensive specialist than his brother. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we like LeBron, we like Donovan Clingan. We were singing his praises.
This little group here is Kalabi, Grimes, George, Braun, and someone's got to pan out from there
yeah.
to make the team more solid.
So
Because again, we don't love the Sexton thing.
well,
Shepard going to start? I mean, who's starting in Houston at point guard with Van Fleet out? Or is
Good question. Good question. Let me take a look. I didn't even think about that because I didn't like the I did not like the Reed Shepherd pick, but it's Tim, so I'm not gonna question it too much. But yeah, Reed Shepherd, ESPN has him as a starting point guard.
Yeah, 'cause I figured when Van Fleet went out, I was like, I mean, I know they were kind of high on Shepard last year, but obviously he wasn't going to play with Van Fleet.
But it could be point guard by name only, like a Jalen Suggs situation where the guy's gonna average like two assists per game or something stupid like that. Because Amin Thompson is the main facilitator on that team, right? Has to
Mhm.
be. And then you still got Sengun who's a mini
You know,
Joker.
and again, is the whole thing going to just run through Durant at this point?
That's the other question. So yeah. Okay, so the more I look at this team, yeah, it's about around the EJ middle of the pack. But I'm not gonna start doubting Tim, like, because when you doubt Tim, that's when bad things happen to everybody else. So the sixth, seventh place team with some upside just because of how he plays, and he has a lot of good players like John Moran, Giannis, Scotty Barnes, LeBron James. There's a lot of players that we liked here.
Hmm.
Not the more I see it though, I don't know if it's good. If it's playoff bound like I thought it was at the beginning. But if anything, next year will be a lot better for him as he tries to get reacclimated to fantasy basketball. And then Tyler, who's never played fantasy basketball, there's his team. Not too shabby it's not bad at all for a guy who admits that he's never played fantasy basketball. This is the problem right here, Jason Tatum, what we agreed upon. But as you can
Yeah.
see, he makes up for it for the guy like Jalen Wells. Pretty decent centers here as well. So not too shabby for a guy who says he hasn't played, if at all. What do you think?
I mean, the only bad, if the Knicks have a bad week, he's going to have a bad week. Because I mean, you're not going to see it that often, I think, because the Knicks are one of the better teams. But he's got Brunson and Towns.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray is, solid if not spectacular.
Yeah, this actually looks a lot better than Tim's team, if I'm being honest here. So yeah, maybe he finishes in fifth place
Levine. Oh,
with a
He's
chance.
got Jimmy Butler, Mikhail. Oh, he's got three Knicks.
No, this is
Oh
Miles,
no,
I
no,
think.
that's Miles. That's Miles,
Yeah,
right?
that's Miles. Yeah, but Mikhail goes to
Yeah, Mikhail was already up on the other team. We
yeah,
saw
Bob.
Bob. Okay.
I knew it was a Pacers fan. I didn't know which one.
Uh, who's C. Johnson? Is that Cam Johnson or is
I
that?
think that's Cam Johnson. Yep, Cameron Johnson, the Michael Porter replacement. Even kind of
Okay.
looks like him too. Oh my God. He's gonna play the same role. Just stand in the corner and let Jokic work and then be ready when he kicks it out to you.
Yeah, I was. I still don't understand why the Nets did that, but I don't know.
Oh, well, just they're the Nets, man. They're the Nets. That's why. But yeah, fifth place team with a chance at
Yeah,
the playoffs. Yeah, I could see that.
yeah, definitely a playoff contender.
All right, so I guess we both agree Primo and Jacob are number one and number two, maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I'll put myself at number three because screw you all. That's why.
No bias whatsoever.
No lend bias whatsoever. Hey man, listen, thank you so much for appearing with me and then staying up late. I know it's you're an hour ahead of me and I'm falling asleep as we're talking. Always look forward to these every year though, as we talk about every single season. I do thank you for always being available after the drafts because I can't do yeah, as much as it is I could do it by myself. It's not as fun. So I appreciate you coming on as always.
No, it's always fun and entertaining.
and more musical references than we can count at this point.
All right, so I'm gonna go check my fantasy football scores and see what craziness happened while we were on.
Oh, snap. I forgot who's playing tonight.
It was Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, which apparently turned into some sort of scoring festival.
It was Joe Flacco's been in the town. That's why.
Cincinnati won 33 to 31. How did that happen?
Joe Flacco impact, bro. Come on.
I did get, oh, well, in my other league, I got 20 points from Jalen Warren, so that's nice.
Oh, okay. Hey, remember when we were talking about Caleb Johnson versus Jalen Warren?
I wasn't.
Oh, that was me and I'm sorry, that was Harry and I. We were talking about it,
Yeah,
and it's like,
no, no, no. When we talked about the draft, and I kept saying I don't know why people are drafting Caleb Johnson because I just didn't. I was like, they just paid Jalen Warren.
yeah, but we
You
see,
don't do it like if they had just given him the qualifying offer, I would have said draft Caleb Johnson because they're not committed to Warren. But when you give him a 3-year extension, you're saying I'm going to play. I'm paying this man. He's going to play.
yeah, but we've seen players get like Miles Sanders would get a decent amount of change for as a free agent signing, and then he's nowhere to be found. Um, I know that happened. Was that with the Eagles?
You also have to understand the coach. And Tomlin is a very loyal guy, and he was raving about
Yeah,
Warren last year
yeah.
and wanting to get him more. He said how he failed in not getting him more touches.
Well, that's because he had
And then they gave him the deal, and I'm like, they're not that Caleb Johnson is not going to play.
well, that's because they also had Najee Harris in the last couple of years. They had to get him touches too. But
They
no,
didn't have to get Najee Harris touches.
well, they did anyway. Okay, jeez,
Yes,
man.
which they should not. I mean, the guy's averaging 3.1 yards a carry, but let's just keep giving him the ball.
That's Steelers football right there, bro. Come on. It's one of the more aging franchises out there. No, and I did like Caleb Johnson because I thought that was the if any team was gonna utilize him correctly, it would be the Steelers because they you know, it's a hard-nosed defensive minded team, right? Traditionally speaking. But once Aaron Rodgers signed, and then you kind of start taking a step back and
It
looking
just
at the
like I said,
situation.
it didn't make a lot of sense to me,
Well,
And
well,
again,
but
it's like when we talk about, the whole opportunity thing. It just didn't make sense.
well, I was gonna say even before the money aspect, I didn't even think about the money with Jalen Warren. The thing I was thinking about was, well, Aaron Rodgers is in town. What does Aaron Rodgers like to do? He loves to pass the ball a lot,
Hmm.
but I could definitely see him dumping the ball a lot to Jalen Warren,
He's always done that.
and he's always done that. And then the other thing is because Caleb Johnson can't catch. I don't think he's a pass catching running back.
No,
And you got to also keep in mind that they made
he's
that
Roberto Duran out there.
pretty much they signed Rodgers after the draft, so Caleb Johnson might have just not been drafted at all if they would have known that Rodgers was coming on board. But the last thing about this whole situation is Jalen Warren probably is a better pass blocker than Caleb Johnson. And if you're going to
Much better.
protect that guy with an Achilles heel injury, yeah, that's important. And then it's not a coincidence that I think Warren did go down a week, right? A week
Hmm.
right? And then who came on and exploded?
Kenneth Gainwell.
Kenny Gainwell, who's basically a Jalen Warren clone. So
Yeah, he's and again, pass blocking.
yeah, that's a big one.
You don't
Pass
put a rookie
catching.
you don't put a rookie out there who clearly can't pass block.
Yeah.
They tried to play him last week a little bit, and Rogers got blown up a couple of times, and Warren went right back. I mean, Caleb Johnson went to the end of the bench, never to be
Yeah.
seen again.
That's some good coaching there by Mike Tomlin, right? So,
Uh-huh.
oh man, no wonder the people want to get rid of him. Anyway, that's a good place to stop. Uh, I am Felipe. This has been the Total Buckets podcast. Over there was my friend James, and we will talk to you next time. Have a good night, everybody.
All right. Have a good night.
Yep.